Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you. Police or zombie problems? Your tortoise won't stop breakdancing?
Try blue tape.
The miracle of our age. Yay!
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me, or I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me, or I'm a man.
You know what? I talked to your mayor.
What's up, folks? How's it going today? You know, it has been an interesting one. We have posting and more posting. Lordy. You know, it's really interesting to see somebody go in and redact the things they've been posting and put up new ones and pretend the other ones didn't disappear or did disappear rather. It's so bizarre. Like yesterday, we read some brand new posts. And give me a second. Let me pull these up straight for you. I want to show you something funny just to kick it off, you know. And oh Lord, this amusement ride is it's so good. It's so fun. These people, man. So, you know, Lynette's on a posting spree again. She never stopped her posting spree. She wants money yet again. And yet she wants to make things, it looks different. So check this out. I'll show you something that happened yesterday. This is kind of fun. So yesterday, she put up a post that was obviously about Lisa going after 2L, insulting her. You can see it in the bottom here. Well, when we laughed at it, and then you had some of Lisa's minions, I guess, tell her that she will never get any more money. She decided to change it and make it look like it was actually about going after Marla. But this is the original ending. I'm going to read you the case of two different endings, where she's talking about $5,000, wanting it and more. But then she says, and you can tell this is posted again. Look at who it's about. I love you for believing in me. And Lisa, so that's Lisa, right? That's who it's aimed at. Stop believing the trolls. It's not me believing them, dear. It's you, so that's Lisa, and Marla. This is exactly why I blocked you. That would be Lisa, right? You, again, Lisa, are a liar. Yeah, you can see all of that 100%. There's no question that is about Lisa. Well, she got blowback for it because, of course, she can't even, and she can't spine up. She wants to call her out so badly, but she can't. You can't. It's killing her. Watch this. This is funny. So she decides to edit it. She decided to ghost edit it and pretend that that's actually not what she did. So look at this. This is funny. This is pretty good stuff. I like it. So she changes up the end of that. You see right here. Now it says, I love you for believing in me, and Lisa, stop believing the trolls. It's not me believing them, dear. It's you and Marla is leading you by lying to you. So she switches it because Marla's a safe target. You can go after Marla. You can talk crap to Marla. It's safe. It doesn't lead to the level of vitriol, let's say. It's funny though, regardless too, Marla, it's really funny that you've simped for this person for God, what, 2 years now? More? God, how long has it been that she's been out there, been like trying to eat up a little bit of that clout? It's been longer than 2 years, but now it's Marla's leading you to lie. That's exactly why I blocked you. You are a liar, Marla. And he did too, after trying to trust you do the right thing. Stop it and shame on you. And so now it's about Marla. But you notice, again, she changed it when she got any type of blowback. She just stealth edited it and pretended, oh, I never said any of that stuff about Lisa. Oh, I love it. I've had a handful of people write me too. So this is interesting too. Now, I'm not sharing anything yet because I'm still getting permission on it, but a few people have written me telling me about donations and other reasons they've been blocked by 2L and more. They were people that were part of that. I guess they confused themselves at one time for community until they found out. They started asking about their donations, where their money went, or stuff like that. Then they found out they weren't anything like that at all. Now, let's see. There's more too. There's new stuff. Oh, look at this. Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection complete? Well, Little Mermaid this shot up. Oh my God. It's so amazing, isn't it? Oh my God. It's amazing. I mean, we're going to go over the stuff that happened in in court and talk about what all it meant. We've got some stuff to go over with that. That's what the topic is. You like the thumbnail, by the way, today? I thought that was pretty funny. You know what's funny, actually? AI finally made a Jeremy Hales that doesn't look like just bizarre. Usually when I make one, it's like, wait, what is that? But it finally made a little Jeremy Hales that looks kind of like Jeremy Hales. I'll show it to you. Check this out. I thought it was funny. It took forever. You would think that would be easy, right? It'd be easy to make a little Jeremy Hales for thumbnails. No, they just didn't look right. They would make them, but they didn't look like him. They'd give you like a full round face or just all this weird stuff. Well, finally, look at this. Check this out. Finally, look at that one. Oh, look at him. Oh, I love it. Now I need to put on a Cleveland Indians. Oh, it's so fun. I like it. I love using AI to make these little guys. I like that. That's what the thumbnail from today is talking. Obviously, if you know what we're talking about that hearing that was it was. Oh, look at, you want to see some funny stuff. The first, if you want to know how hard it is to make an AI Hales, let me show you like a few of the disaster ones. You want to see those? Those are pretty funny too. Some of them, I'm like, who is that supposed to be? So check this out here. So here's, like, they come out like this. Like, who is this? Look, he's got. I mean, does that look like the right person to you? Is it? Wait a minute, who is that guy? Face is too fat, hair is wrong, everything. I was like, I don't know who that is. This look at this one. It's like, what is going on? Oh my God, I love them. They're so funny though. I mean, I went through hundreds of them to get one right, but I finally have one for today. Yeah, and today, if you recognize it, like I said, they had, especially if you have seen the footage. Like I said, he noted he would leave it up for a little while, and then he'd make it available. But the people that wanted to back and help out what they, to help them out with costs and everything else that been going on, they made it available right from go. That God, the cost of that stuff is insane. So if you've seen that footage, you know what I'm talking about there. And if not, don't worry, guys, you will definitely see it. But we will talk about the video in. So let's check out this first. Let's give me 1 second. Let's check out this this first posting that Lynette Preston put up. Let's see this. So, I mean, she's going off about money, gimme, and it's an overdrive. It's amazing to see. And remember, Lynette, the only people stopping you from getting that money, remember who burned your audience down. Ultimately, you built your anti-Hales audience up, and you had a PR team and all that. They admitted they were your PR team. They said that. I mean, it was just publicly noted. It's not even questionable. Again, they lie about it, but they said it on their website. Actually, there are a lot of new people here. So, I mean, give me 1 second. See if I have it right on hand. I think I have it close. It's funny though, they say that they never said anything about being PR. They told the people that followed them online that they never did that. It never happened. It never happened. And yet, again, you can look up the website itself in an archive and pull up everything on it. I'm going to show you clips from it, but what I'm doing, the only reason I'm showing it this way, just to note, is, and I know some of you have seen this for sure, but if you haven't, the reason I'm showing it this way is because the website itself was full of pictures of that little kid, and I'm not going to put that little kid's face on my stuff. But The archive itself, you can type in this address here if you would like to. That is the archive, straight to the entire thing. Or you can just take the save HG, except it's the entire name, save.com, and put it in at archive.fo, and you can see the whole website. But just to note that, I mean, you can see the here's the original website, savehg.com. You can see where they put all of that stuff together, where they were trying to weaponize the little kid, trying all their GoFundMes and more. And of course, there's their notorious PR stamp. So for the people that I've been getting more and more letters saying, hey, I watched these folks for a while, gave money to them. Now they've blocked me because I've asked questions because I didn't like where my money went, or I asked something they didn't like. They treated me like garbage and more. So I'm like, okay, well, there you go. There's your proof. That's their website, by the way. They made that. I didn't make it. They made it. Okay. So it is registered under their name. They talked about their excuse for it was, well, it wasn't public. Yeah, of course it had to be public. None of us could have gotten screenshots from it if it wasn't public. So that didn't even make sense. You know, we could publicly archive. Archive too only works on public websites. So of course it has to be public. Otherwise we couldn't have archived it. You know, I mean, the idea is so absurd. But anyway, so the point in saying all that is her PR team turned on her. Her PR team, who was anti-Hale, she thought anti-Hales meant pro-Preston. And she was wrong. Anti-Hales means anti-Hale. Preston was just a useful idiot for the longest time. And she became not so useful when her cases started failing. You know, all these people talked her into having failed cases. They talked her in. I mean, really, you know, she again is to blame for whatever she did. But her case is failing. I mean, she wouldn't have had those cases at all weren't it not for these people. But listen to this stuff now. So under the rules of transparency, because Lisa could not provide framers in time for our permit to be saved, and because now it takes many more steps to get our permits back on our property, and because that will cost more money, which will keep us, you notice the hours on this too. It's 2 hours ago. You notice the date. 13th. This is a live post. I'm looking at it right now, reading to you. It just came up a little while ago, but will cost more money, which will keep us from living in a house because there's not enough to finish the house. I'm hereby saying to all donors. So she's trying to get money from donors, including they think they have David the donor on the hook. Why? Because John talked to him the other day in chat. So now they are specifically talking to David, the donor, but they also want other suckers to give them money. And I'm telling you, folks, do not fund these people. They are not doing anything positive. They're not giving you anything. Like I said, if you like a product or a show or whatever, cool. But this is not it. You do not want to give these people your money. But our needs have changed. HG's medical and mental and emotional needs, as well as ours, have changed. You did not write this. Lynette Preston, who wrote this? Who wrote this? Look at the look. What dot ellipses say what? No way. But you did not write this. We need to that's weird. They didn't write this. Look at this. You can tell that, read this. This is crazy. So our needs have changed. HG's medical and mental and emotional needs. We need to get this child. Does she refer to HG as this child? I'd be curious how many times that's actually happened, because every time she says our child. I really don't think she wrote this at all. In an RV, since the house is not the answer right now, We need an RV she can call a home and have a routine and have stability. There's no way she wrote this. A bedtime. I can hire a babysitter. I can have a nurse come if needed and respite if I need it. Our needs have changed. The little bit of money that Lisa has left. Little bit of money Lisa has left. Now it's changed again. It's changed from they had $18,000. Lisa won't turn over money, won't do this. Now it's just a little bit of money having left. Where'd the money go, Lynette? Lynette Preston, I will consider give here. Let me put out a wonderful offer here. And I swear to God, I will mock anyone that gives this woman money. I will consider giving you some money. If you can explain to me, which you can't, where the money actually went. Because we know one person alone, $56,000. We have a report from Levy County. Right now, I read the letter where 2L wrote herself to them saying, fence cost $5,000. Okay, well, she made it clear not too long ago that $5,000, that was easily paid out of gift cards and more. So the fence was paid for with gift cards. It was paid for with donations outside of that money. There's no way it was touched there. So that didn't come out of just the 56 by itself. And remember, there are a lot more donors, but let's just go with the 56. So the fence money doesn't come into that at all. So you're telling me 2 toilets, a bunch of wood thrown down on the ground, and a countertop. You're telling me that right there has sucked up. At the beginning, you all were saying that you had 18,000 left. Okay. But you're telling me now that it's eaten up even more than that. Where did all that money go? I bet you cannot give me a real response to that. Did you pay? So, see, she's too calm for this. Either you were given money, Lynette Preston, that did not go for this, and you have lied about it, or other people got paid out of this money. She's way too calm for this. She's accepting that money just poofs. So other people, I again, when I say this, they can disprove me if they want, but I think other people got theirs. I think they did. I think they thought that the money spigot would always be on. They would continue to run it. And then they figured out a little thing. They figured out a little something like, they don't need Lynette Preston to be part of that. They can keep that thing on, but they don't need anybody else to be part of it. And Lynette now is like, well, and she can't, if she tells the truth, she looks like shit too. But she's way too comfortable with it. And by the way, Lynette, you won't be able to protect that money under bankruptcy. You won't. That was your money. You've talked about it way too much because you're an idiot. You're an absolute idiot. But anyway, let's continue. Little bit of money that Lisa has left will not get us living in the house. And right now, we could get the new permit in place by following steps below, purchasing the RV so that HG can have a place to go to bed at 8 o'clock without being woke up, so that HG would have a bathroom to brush her teeth in without going outside. Look, is this my fault? Is this your fault? Did you make this kid? They had a home, They had a home in Newport. They decided to move up to fuck all. And they did that because, well, you make up your mind. I believe they stalked Jeremy Hales to this location. I believe that has been definitively proven. But for whatever reason, they decided to move out there, and people gave $100,000 freaking bucks to these people. And now they're telling you, I don't have a dime. Is that my fault? Is that your fault? Is that their donor's fault? No. Lynette Preston, again, you're going to tell me, what I take from this message here is they're trying to say that there's not $5,000 left for an RV. That's a strange message that has suddenly changed, right? They don't have enough money to buy an RV out of it. I'm telling you, when it when it all comes down, it's going to be fascinating to watch. And if these donors, man, if I've been written by a few of you, you need to contact the police. I'm telling you, they lied to you guys and they screwed you out of a lot of money. But let's continue here. Oh my God, it's so weird, man. She would have a bathroom to ride without going outside. So we could sit down at the kitchen table and do our schoolwork instead of doing everything cramped together in our little shed. This should be very disturbing. Too. Again, do not contact any place, but I cannot believe that agencies are like, yeah. I mean, they're telling you they live in a shed. And agencies are like, yeah, that's cool. That's normal. That's totally cool. Oh, fuck. There you have my transparency. My needs have changed. I'm informing all donors that in order to get moving on the house, we need to complete new new plans, new blueprints, hire an engineer, third party. Look, they're telling you they don't have enough money to hire for new plan. I mean, we're talking about a few $1,000. You don't even have that left. $2,500 for permits and stuff. I mean, so she says, well, that's going to take that'll take a chunk of what's left of them. So what's left, Lynette? Why don't you give people a real accounting? And again, explain to people where the money went. Explain it exactly. No work on the house. None whatsoever. Where'd the money go? I think that's a question that donors would want to know too. There will never be enough to get us living in the house. I hope everyone understands that and agrees that putting us in an RV is the best thing that could be done. And saying it's illegal to give us money now is wrong. Only me. Look at that. Only me. David Riggert told John to ask Lisa for the money since he was our top contributor. I think that says it all. This puts an interesting conundrum for Lisa. Lisa has been told, she was specifically informed. She talked about this, first of all. She cannot say that she doesn't know about this too. She was informed that David the donor had said the money should go to them. He said it straight up. He gave money for them, and he did. And now, that's funny. 2012, man, LP can have her own SpongeBob song. Who lives in a shed right by the swamp? Oh my God. Fun times, right? Okay, so she says, I hear it in my head. I can't stop it. I hope Lisa will do the right thing and get this baby in an RV where she can start having a normal life since the house is not in question at this time. I guess I should write that. Also, P.S. Guys, we need privacy. We need privacy. She's a little girl. I'm a woman. Gross. I'm not married to him. I need privacy, space. So here's something very big. I'm asking any person who donated to please contact me so I can personally explain the needs that we have. You are an idiot if you contact these people and give them more money. You are an idiot. You're an absolute idiot. These people, again, Megan Fox put together them putting dozens fundraiser requests, and it got it. They made the money. They did. They had it. They had $100,000. If you give these people more money, you deserve to be mocked, ridiculed to the ends of the earth. Any of these people that do, because again, it's not unobtainable. Lynette Preston has the ability to obtain that money. All she has to do is go to the police if it exists anymore. What I get the distinct impression of is that there's no more money. That's what I feel here. The money is gone. It has been ghosted. They blew through that money. You know, I mean, you saw this random shite. These people, they all came up with brand new equipment. That was strange, wasn't it? All of them did. Big money rolls in, all this brand new equipment, and brand new equipment ain't cheap, man. You know, I still use a tower that is not the greatest tower in the world, even though just because I don't want to. I don't want to have to pay 10 grand for a fucking tower, you know, like a really, well, that's probably overstatement, but still, you know what I mean? These people together, they spent buku money. They absolutely did. I mean, hell, but they couldn't get better microphones. That's the frightening thing. But anyway, I digress. But contact me personally. We have now, I pretty much know who donated. She doesn't even know who donated. I pretty much know. So she doesn't actually know. You know, I'm going to say I've had multiple people who donated contact me. And they told me that they would never give money to these people again. And I feel bad for people. Again, I understand why some people would believe, or they would think, man, I'm helping out a family in need. Look at all these buzzwords. People fall for that stuff. It's easy, you know. But if you keep looking at these people, you can tell, wait a minute, there's something wrong with this. But, and who didn't? So, we know who didn't too. So please don't try to fake me out, because that's not appropriate, right? David, again, here's the second one I need to speak to you. So again, they're like, hey, David the donor. I wonder, see, they're desperate right now. Their plans have not worked out. They haven't. David too, man. I think you gave plenty of these folks. What you need to be telling these people to do is contact the police. I think it should be very well settled, you know, for straight up. Just tell them to contact the police. If that woman stole their money, it went one or two. What I feel like right now with them not wanting to butt heads is they know where the money went. They do. And Lynette Preston is not a calm person. John Cook is not a calm person. I think everyone could agree to that. So with them not blowing a fucking fuse out here online, that says that something is wrong. And I think that even these big donors, they should be able to look at that. Why does Levy County agencies not do their job? That's a good question. But any other donors will be far and few, because there were not that many. There were, Lynette. There were multiple donors. You didn't just have one donor. You're an idiot. You believe, this is what kills me. She believes Lisa. She's still, after everything that has been documented, she thinks, look at this, Lynette Preston. Look, I can tell you that channel, during those times, they pulled in, not counting memberships or anything else, they pulled in around $30,000 off of you. That's right. Now, again, that is just super chats. That is not counting anything else. Outside of that, we know that David the donor by himself, he drops $56,000 into the fray. The majority of that goes through PayPal. There are other donors that drop thousands and thousands of bucks too. And it comes in through PayPal, Cash App. I mean, it comes in through Venmo. Coffee was added. So yeah, she has no idea how much money was there. But this idea, few and far between, they're also trying to guilt David the donor into giving more money. They figure that he's their money faucet. They're mad because it got turned off. You know, the funny thing too is John Cook talked shit about David the donor. Michelle Preston, when she thought no more money was coming in, she did what she does with everyone. She made herself the victim of David the donor. She talked about it in comments. on one of the Miyagi videos back when. She did. That's the one thing I love as a testament to all this, by the way. Miyagi has been very clear, by the way, her thoughts on people. She's never changed that, never lied about it or anything else. She was very clear about that. You know who wasn't, who lied about it? All these other people that thought they would get him back into the fray. Their comments, they stood for a long time. Maybe they're still there because a lot of them forgot to remove them, I think. But Lynette Preston was one of them. I know I screenshotted myself. So she turned herself, the guy who gave all that money and was complaining about stuff, she was woe is me and making him a victimizer, just like everyone else. It's amazing. If he gives more money again, what an idiot. Again, it's his money, but my God, you'd have to be an idiot to do that. But I'm going to put out a video. I'm going to put in a video out of the inside of the barn debate. You aren't going to do shit, lady. You won't put out a video. You never have. You've been lying to us for months. And you will see that a little bit of money that's left. What does that mean? What does that mean? How am I going to see there's a little bit of money that's left with you making a video of the barn dominion? What does that mean? I don't understand. It's not going to finish it enough for us to live in, plus pay the permit fee, plus pay the engineer, plus redo the blueprints. So the money needs to be turned over to us so that so you're wanting David to contact you so he can. Well, I'm confused. What are you trying to ask David here? Is she saying that David... Can somebody explain this to me? Is she asking them for more money, or is she wanting them to contact about money donated? Because right there, now she's saying we need an RV. We need money turned over to us for the RV. Well, the donors don't have to contact you about that. You need to contact the police. Again, I'll say that every single time. Any of you that give money to this lady are idiots. But she's posted this in the last couple of hours. And it's funny because, again, she posted a lot beyond that over the last few days. But my God, the thing we need in order to step into that fray is the other thing that I want to cover today. The other thing that I really want to cover today is all of the courtroom insanity that kicked off. Now, if you have not, again, watched the video, give me 1 second. That's okay. I will talk about it again. It will be available in a few days, I'm sure. If you've not, but again, if you want to back it, it is available, members only on their channel. And, typically that wouldn't be a problem. That's one of the first things that they have put on a members only. And the reason for it, like I said, it makes sense. You're talking about every time for this hearing right here, the prep work, thousands and thousands of dollars. It's nuts, man. Hundreds of thousands of dollars for all the cases. Hundreds. You're talking about $500,000 these days, man. After a while, it's insane to try to get justice, man. Just Jay, yeah. Like, we should set up a GoFundMe for Elevator P. Do we get to keep it? Does it have to go to her? Explain the rules to that, Jay. I need to understand because I don't know the rules there. Now, off this video, again, what the hales? I'm going to guess all of you are actually subscribed to that. If you are not for some reason, make sure you are. And one of the ways to help out no matter what is playing videos. You can play stuff. You can let it, like a video like this, you can let it play while you're away, just whatever. It lets it play ad reads, and it helps out their channels. Any channel you like, that's the way you do it. But let's do this. Let's get into this. I gave it a few days because I wanted to make sure that everyone had seen it. Now, we'll go back also and hit any super chat that's come in before if super chats come in while this, I'm going to try to be timely with them in case they have questions in them or anything. But we will catch every super chat too. I'm just noting that. So let's do this. Oh man, what a bunch of crazy. Y'all ready for this? I am ready. Here we go.
Judge told Lynette she better lawyer up, and basically she's screwed. And Lynette stormed out. Oh yeah, dude.
She denies, by the way. It's really interesting because she denies that the judge, he's telling her again, essentially, you know, you're out of your depth here, lady. Like, he is making that clear. You are out of your depth. So that's 100%. That is straight up. Let's continue.
He completely lied and stole from you as well.
Oh yeah.
It was quite the day of court today in Levy County, Florida. You know, where us Northern Indians love to hang out.
The Indians thing is always funny too. Remember, if you've not watched this since the beginning, Bruce was so petty that he tried to take that and say that having that sweatshirt, you know how many fans are out there? You know how many of them are attached again? It's just like the Washington now Commanders, but it, you know, I have a Redskins outfit, you know, I mean, I'm not a Redskin fan, but if I were, I have Redskin memorabilia. If I wore it around, they try to say that having that stuff, it makes you a racist. It makes you horrible. And that's what Bruce tried to play. Now, he tried to play that in the middle of a lawsuit about signs. He went from asking about signs and calling somebody terrible things to, aren't you actually these things? It was quite crazy.
During the winter. And the courtroom was empty in the beginning, but filled up extremely fast. Now, George and Deanna, George being in the thumbnail lawsuit, Deanna being in the Trespass 5 lawsuit, were there on site. Now, to get everybody up to speed, we were stalked, harassed, our businesses interfered with by Lynette and Crook in Otter Creek, literally to the point of Lynette and Crook purchasing 1.66 acres across the street from us. Then, out of fame and fortune, at least ambitions of it, Deuce, otherwise known as Bruce Matskins, a lawyer, LOL,
LOL,
finds out about this case on the internet, wants that fame, wants that fortune. He gives out all kinds of promises of money. You're going to get What the Hales money. He's going to destroy my entire YouTube empire. What'd he do? Well, the judge said it very plainly to Lynette. I'm going to get to it. He destroyed her.
He did, actually. She is, when the judge is talking about being out of the depth and everything, remember, the guy who brought these lawsuits, you have a face, but remember, you have two people that were responsible for this litigation. We have the contract for it, you know, and with it, you had co-counsel. You had the counsel that represents in the courtroom that when it was brought would have been Stark. And you had Bruce, who was responsible for all the filings, which were garbage. He was responsible, honestly, you can tell that Bruce was responsible for this period. He brought all that. He convinced this idiot that she was going to get back. Again, there's one set of, let me see, I can't remember how many messages off of it, but I'll just call it one set of messages that was between Lynette Preston and Bruce Manskin that we saw because of Shara. Now, out of that, they are discussing Larry Foreman in the thumbnail case, right? Now, in that, they talked about if he would take his thumbnails down or not. You know, they made a demand, and he did change stuff. And Lynette asked them that, well, if he does this, she doesn't use, I don't think she wears the word comply, but she's like essentially saying, if he complies with this, will I not get my money? You know, will I not be able to get my money in suing them? So she's already seeing that cha-ching in her eyes. She already thinks she's going to get that payday. And Bruce is like, well, it doesn't matter if he does it. We're going to sue him anyway. So stupid stuff. And see where it is right now. See where that ended up. So Lynette Preston, it's all her fault. She agreed to this stuff. But But these other people are culpable too. And it's beautiful. It is. I mean, she was in there with no lawyer. They tried to spin it, by the way. The bankruptcy lawyer was there. And I've been going through transcripts for the last few days, like looking at these idiots trying to tell you how your donors really didn't get ripped off of $6,000 because he was there. Now he has no control over that. He was only there in a bankruptcy capacity, which is a lawsuit, which is a filing. It's not a lawsuit; it's a filing that it's supposed to slow things down at best. But he screwed up, and it's not active anymore. So he was in the court. Yeah, he was on Zoom, but he had no authority, no power whatsoever. Even had to admit that they didn't have anything going on. That's how it moved forward. Okay, continuing.
So he makes all these grandiose promises of money.
Oh, by the way, let me say, I said anything that comes in on the time while we're starting. So Frankie, you dropped 5 giftos while we were on there. Thank you. Like I said, I'll catch everything in there. I just want to be timely with anything that comes in, because in case you have a question, or a comment that pops up and is right about something that happens in here, I definitely want to see it there. Let's continue.
And fame, which all these freaks and fools have gotten that
They
fame,
didn't think
right?
they were going to get famous.
And yet there's no money. And yet you're going to hear real soon that the judge literally says money is going to be paid out by Lynette. Oh boy, it was
going to be writing checks.
So the courtroom is empty. I log in at 8:45. Now
she says that's a lie too, by the way. Lynette said that was a lie. It is in the recording. She was confronted about that, which I don't think we'll have time for everything. We'll do this video today, and we'll probably, I don't think we'll do anything tomorrow. I don't know. The next time we depending on what happens on the day, but she had a message exchange with someone, and she got cornered about that. She had to kind of admit that, oh yeah, I did say that. And it was kind of funny. She was so angry. Her thing was, oh, well, I don't remember that being said. Well, wait a minute, Lynette, you said that was a lie. And Nadine, by the way, thanks for the 8 months. I can't wait to see these freaks and fools get charged. Yeah, it'll be a charge account money. What's again, I don't know how to stress it anymore. Since we just got the FOIA requests, these people went out of their way not to harm his business. They tried to put him in jail, nullify his protective order. That's why they were so loud about nullification of protective order. You remember how Bruce kept saying we're going to get that overturned? They all colluded to do that. It really happened. They tried. They didn't try in the courtroom legal aspect. They were trying with police. They were trying with Dan freaking Owens. It is insane to say. Conspiracy? Say what now? Nuts, isn't it?
George is already there on site with Deanna. They're there on site. Lynette's nowhere near around. George messages me. She says, I'm here. My anxiety is over the roof. Hear any crickets? Anybody sucking on chicken? Okay. All right. So I'm in there at...
I can't... Well, they do all the time. Sucking on chicken skin. The two out there, that's so gross, man. The cricket thing is by itself. The cricket thing is actually the best co-host they probably ever had. But sucking down chicken skin. Oh, I'm not... It's been a few and far between where I've eaten, but you will never hear me doing like sticking down some skin and then being like, that's so gross, man. I hate listening to people eat. Ugh, it grosses me out anyway. But somebody slurping chicken skin off their fingers. Oh, God.
8:45. And immediately I'm let in, which is not normal when you're on a Zoom. Usually it's, you got to wait for the host to let you in. And I'm immediately let in, but there's no sound whatsoever. But what I can see is individuals actually in the courtroom, and it was courtroom B. I see a bald guy who I later find out is Dan Owens. Yeah, the individual who told Levy County Sheriff Department to not
Dan Owens
not enforce our civil protection orders against Lynette and Crook. That's going to be a further lawsuit down the road.
Oh, yeah,
against Levy
should
County.
be.
So you got the suited man to the right who is.
You know what sucks about that? There will be a lawsuit. These people, again, we've seen them try to charge Jeremy Hales. They did not want that coming out. Again, there is another freaking item that has still not come up. But the thing we do have, I'll come right back to this. I just want to pull this up because this is new. You know, we found it in the FOIA in case somebody hasn't seen it. We just got this, but here was them. Again, we read this the other night. We just they finally came off all the FOIA requested items, you know, and you can see Dan Owens, the guy who's in this hearing. Why is he there, by the way? That's a good question. Why the fuck is he there? But here's him mailing around asking for a copy of the petition that Redacted filed in order to obtain his order of protection. So that would be Jeremy. They were saying, if you don't have a copy, please request one from the clerk of Summit County. I want to see if he committed perjury in the petition. Specifically, I want to see what representations he made with respect to the residence that they're at. My understanding is that he has no ties to Ohio, much like Summit County. They, instead of upholding a protective order, they tried to tear it down. I've never, ever seen anything like this. These corrupt assholes. And now he is in yet another hearing. Again, they have done everything they can to help Lynette Preston. They have tried to put Jeremy Hales in jail. It is not a conspiracy theory. This stuff is real, man. This is absolutely real. It is insane. They have taken a civil case and they have taken what I very much believe are criminal deeds, and they've tried to put someone in jail because he called out their shitty little freaking governance. I'm not talking about Otter Creek is a shitty place. That's not what I said. I said their shitty governance. You know, because Otter Creek, there are some good people in Otter Creek. I hate that this, unfortunately, folks, the residents there, it does make you guys all look bad. And I understand that. It's not Hale's fault. He was trying to, call out some craziness that was there. He told out the craziness happening to him. And it's the governing body. I mean, it's nuts. It's the old boys club. And unfortunately, it reflects on the good people there too. And that's not the intent. In fact, I've gotten to know some of you and love to you all. Appreciate you. When we talk about that, I never want you to think I'm talking about you. I am talking about these horrible people that have done everything they can to put somebody in jail with a protective order. It's nuts, man. Dan
Owens, and completely and totally bald. You got a nice dressed lady to the left. Now, usually you have plaintiffs, defendants. I think of it like a wedding. You walk into a courtroom, they go, are you with the bride or are you with the groom? Bride over here, groom over here. Well, in this case, plaintiff, defendant. But this is an unusual courtroom because this place just starts packing in with people. And so another bald guy walks in. Two women walk in. One lady leaves. They're all talking. They're all plugging in laptops. They're laughing. And I'm sitting there on the other side of Zoom thinking, are they laughing because they know about these cases? Well, come to find out, since the bald guy is Dan Owens, boy, do they ever know about these cases.
Look, did you see? Okay, there are little tails with Jeremy Hales. All right. You can see the frustration just a little bit on, when he looked up, he's like, oh, shit. You can imagine the anger of finding out these people were trying to put him in jail with him having they tried to use his protective order to put him in jail. And they would not uphold his protective order. So you have two parts of that. Not only are they talking about behind the scenes, not upholding something. Also, there's a third part too. We found out that they were comparing him to some really infamous killer. The victims advocates folks, all of these, they're like, oh, we remember his name because this killer. And also the letter I just showed you.
Pieces. And then the lady comes back in. Brett and Therese get on the Zoom at 8:53. You know,
Yeah, they
Madam
were
Mayor and her
together.
husband, because they're a part of this process with the Trespass 5. They have filed suit against LineNet for frivolous filings, which all came from Deuce.
Yep.
Remember, he has a contract with Stark, with LineNet, how they're going to split up.
Here's a question. I don't know. How many of you very well remember the Trespass 5 filing? I really, the Trespass 5 filing is one of my favorites I've ever read. And since we are waiting, you know, we have another hearing scheduled for October 22nd. I really have thought about reading that thing again because it is amazing. And we have, like I said, we have new people that have never heard it before. They were told things and maybe read snippets of it. Yeah, you remember good. See, it's crazy, isn't it? You tell people like there are new people, like I said, that have not heard this. It is the nuttiest thing I've ever seen. I when I read it, I was like, you can't win with this. Again, you know, if I thought Lynette Preston, it's like when I talk about Fed 2, for example. I said, I don't know how that's going to come out. I don't know. I have no idea. When Fed 1 came up, you know, I told you tortious interference is a hell of a claim to get through. And I at first, I didn't think they'd make it through. So as far as it's made it, it's shocking and amazing in its own way. But never thought it would get that far. So that Trespass 5, man, God, you should see it again. It's amazing there. What's up, Patty? Thank you for that super sticker, by the way. I saw that roll through. Thank you. That is much appreciated. Cynic. What's up, Cynic? You know, what's up, 61 months? What's the public statement about Legally Limbs that you told us to ask you about? Oh, yeah. So, you remember how we've, I forgot all about that. Thank you, Cynic. So, you know, we've heard that we're going to have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? I mean, you all remember that. Like, we're going to automatically have to pay. We're already past that date, right? Well, these idiots, you realize the holdup right now, we want to have a vexatious litigant hearing. You know, we want to bring it before the court. And in order to do that, you have to have both sides agree 2 times. So we've selected those. We already have all of that. And guess who doesn't seem to want to respond at all to those requests? Like no response whatsoever. So it seems like the people that told us that we are going to have to pay out a small fortune, I think they understand that they got some problems in this. Because they don't even, they're hoping, it looks like their tactic is delay, which would make sense because that's what they do with other cases. But they delayed off the beginning when they were supposed to file something. They delayed 5 days. They put in another one. And finally, right on the deadline, they had turned something in. And it was them basically trying to litigate a case they dropped, which was weird. But right now, we are still waiting. And now, again, if they push it too far, what you end up doing is you're like, okay, well, here's the dates. This is it. You know, you won't respond or pick anything. We know this is the communication. All right, here's the day. But it looks like very much, in my opinion, when I'm looking at this, I think they're scared of the vexatious litigant thing. I think it proves it. Because they don't want to pick a day. They don't want to respond to it at all. So that's where we've been with that. And I really wanted to mention that. And I'm glad you asked, Cynic, because I mean, I find it amusing that these people, they threatened us repeatedly. When we said that we were going to file litigation, they tried to threaten us to make us not go through with litigation. They kept saying they were going to bankrupt us. What about your children? You know, they pointed that at Megan. What about your kids? It's a shame that you're going to. They got the mouthpiece over there, like running again, talking straight to them, which they said that was the dumb thing too. it wasn't, these are my opinions on it. It was like, no, well, I've talked to them and this is what they say. Like, you got to be kidding me. So they threatened and threatened and threatened. But and they said, right when it starts, we're going to put in this thing and we're going to get all this money. Well, you notice that didn't happen. Instead, they are hoping to freaking drag and drag. But they very well meet that vexatious criteria. So that's what we've been angling for, to get that hearing there and the hold up for it, because I've been asked for an update on it. Well, waited on them, and after they didn't pop up with it, we're like, yo, come on, are you going to answer this? No, nothing. So it looks like we're going to choose some dates, and we'll see how they respond to that. Because, judges don't have infinite patience either. I think that's funny, though. I think if you ignore it, it'll go away. Isn't that amazing? What's up, Angela? Thanks for the fun there. Do you think she's so desperate to get the RV so she can run? I have a speculative theory. Would you like to hear some speculation on that? Now, again, it's speculation. I don't know. I'm wondering, again, she can correct this. Did someone say that you needed to clean up your property to maybe get everything in a home? Is living in a shed bad? Like, not just from my optics, but is that from other more formal optics? Do they say, hey, maybe you need to do this, that, or the other? Did you tell them that's your plan and that's what you're going to do? Because I feel like there's a hint of desperation in that. Now, again, you can clarify that. I'm asking a question with this. I am not saying that's what happened. That is straight up a question, but I'm curious about that. I'm curious. But yeah, the RV, the only problem was if they were to run, which has been the question, I mean, they have to abandon everything. I wonder, I don't know if Lynette's smart enough to understand all the trouble she's in. Maybe she, if you stopped and looked around and saw all these other people at distance from her, man, maybe she should see that. Maybe the lawyers are just, she's almost radioactive at the time. They've taken the money, in mob movies, when people start taking loans and not paying your money back, that usually is a bad sign. Well, the same thing here. I'm going to say, if they won't give you their money and stuff, maybe that's a bad sign. And then when you go into a courtroom and the judge is like, yeah, this, that, or the other, and it's not good for you, it's not what they're telling you, maybe that's a problem too. What's up, Righted Chick? Thanks for the vibe here. What can Jeremy Hales do about Levy County and Dan Owens when it seems all Levy County is incompetent and corrupt? Who can they turn to for help in this? You can sue. You absolutely can. And you can take it to a higher court. You can also, unfortunately, no matter what happens, when you sue, at the beginning of it, a lot of times the case will get kicked too. Have you ever watched a case against police or really anybody in an area when you bring it? If you ever watched how that goes, you'll have it kicked, you'll go to a higher authority, then they'll for appeal, then they'll decide on it. You could do something like that. You could also use the size of channels to try to leverage another political person in, potentially. It's possibly. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of discussion that goes with that. I mean, right now we're so, buried in all this other stuff that it's hard to say. That's why he said, that's down the road. They also need to get there's another letter. I'm pretty damn sure. I feel pretty certain exists that proves that they said that they will not honor the protective order. If that ever comes up, they will have to turn it over, essentially. If they get caught destroying information, not turning something over, that right there, that's a lawsuit and a half. And they know they've got a problem. They absolutely know they've got a problem. What's up, Laura? 34 months, Laura. I appreciate that. It's IQ is under 10. It's for somebody that talks about how smart they are, they certainly don't seem to understand the trouble they're in, do they? Anyway.
Portions of all the won money. And the judge was very clear. There would be no money going to Lynette. Lynette would be paying. But
why would Lynette think she's getting money from them anyway? You know, she thought these lawsuits were going to have money, and she seemed to be for a little while under the delusion that somebody would have to pay out for her. How would that work, Lynette? You drop the cases. How would that work? Now you got Granger and Granger. They have an easy claim against you. You made them spend money on a frivolous lawsuit. You have Jeremy Hales. They have easy claim against you. You made them spend money on a frivolous lawsuit. So how do you think that they're going to end up paying money to you? Because I don't see any world in which you can even try to convince yourself of that. It's so weird.
Promise. So Brett and Teresa are in there, and I wave in Zoom because they're in there, and they wave back to me on Zoom because I'm in there. And everybody else, the staff, is in the courtroom. I kind of feel tension being on the other side. And I'm texting George and saying, hey, Brett and Teresa are on now. And she goes, yeah. We're in the side room with Randy right now. So they're there with Randy. They're discussing what's going to happen when they go into the courtroom and how that works. Bailiff then enters, and then Rex, who's a bailiff as well, another deputy, enters as well. So now we have 2 bailiffs in there. Then 4 more randoms come in. I mean, there's just people everywhere at this point. And then Lynette enters at 8:55, completely and totally alone, and freshly dyed dark hair. What do you think?
You could see that in the video, by the way, which is it's really interesting. I mean, you know, blacked out outfit. By the way, Lynette, it didn't help you look like you were in mourning or upset. See, I think she was going for the "I'm upset about my attorney" look. I think that's what that was about, you know, because of Skark's passing. First of all, it's been a minute. Second of all, it doesn't play on you well. Like, you don't come across as likable. Like maybe if you could pretend you can't speak and get someone to interpret for you. Maybe that would help. Like write it down. Maybe get some of that money to have somebody with a voice that's like an actual endearing grandmother type. Maybe that would help. Natalie, by the way, thank you for the 20 there. I look forward to your show every night. Your voice is very soothing. Well, thank you. I look forward to what you and Megan do. Well, thank you very much, Natalie. I appreciate you quite a bit. You know, that is awesome. I like I said, some days when I feel like, oh my God, I'm not going to do something, I remember all you folks that love coming on. So we have fun. Lily, thank you for the 5. Here's a good question too. Who is Brett Beauchamp? That is the under sheriff within the county. So you're talking about law enforcement. Yeah. So it's a prosecutor here. The prosecutor here, writing to the under sheriff in Levy County. Isn't that wild? So that's who the 2 people that were communicating in that letter. Yeah, that is so crazy. It's so weird to look at and to know. Let's continue.
Lynette's trying to look like. I mean, this is the individual who is literally sought out, convicted murderer, married him, then divorced. Oh, but now she's with Crook, you know, her 7th divorce. Living illegally on a piece of property in Florida because she thought she was going to get money from us. Okay, so Lynette comes in with freshly dyed hair. Now, keep in mind, Lynette is very publicly stated they don't even know where their next meal is going to come from. But if you were dumb enough, if you're watching right now and you were dumb enough to give her money, I want you to know that money is going towards her dyed hair. That's what it's going towards. Not food for a child, not a home for a child. It's going towards dyed hair.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's going toward stuff that I'm stunned. Again, you've got to remember what they've said. Like he noted, they have been saying that They don't know where food's going to come from. They don't know where this or that. And yet, I mean, you saw them with new toys to play with. They put it, I'm sure people donated some of the stuff, but they put, instead of going out and doing anything about it, they put all this time into flea marketing. They made 25 bucks, according to Lynette, over 3 days. I mean, think about that. I mean, 125 bucks with everything given to them. You know, no overhead, but the amount that they had that they managed to pull in was 125 bucks. That's why they're so desperate, also begging for money. Because, I mean, really, you're talking $41 a day, you know, or really 41 and change. I think that's like what's that, like 41.6 or something? Nah, something like that. I think it's like 41.6 or something a day. But yeah, that's with everything given. That's not sustainable. they're making some money. That would be enough to feed them for the day, though. But no, they want that RV. They want this. They want that. You notice everything is going for stuff besides food. Huh. Also, why would anybody, again, give these people money? God, please do not give these people money. Really, folks, if they antis, I mean, I don't care who you are. I don't want you getting swindled out of more money. If you want to back a show or you want to pay for a product, like if you're buying a necklace from Lynette, whatever, yeah, fine. You know, if she wants to make a show online and you want to back that, sure, whatever. But, you know, for them to come out and she's weaponizing this kid again. That's what that whole pitch was about, weaponizing that kid again. And you're the bad guy because it's your responsibility to raise that kid. It's your responsibility. And that is, she's not offering you anything for it. She's just telling you, if you don't give money, she'll break down and start screaming, ranting. And it's some wild stuff. Anyway, let's continue here.
There you go. Oh, now she's going to make a public post and say, that was my money that I spent to dye my hair. That wasn't any donated money. Well, please, somebody tell me how she gets any money that isn't donated money. Huh. I mean, she's public about that's the only way they survive is off of donations. Money. And then she claims she has never made any money whatsoever with her 501(c)(3) thumb. Elemental P. Okay. You figure out that mess in her head. I'm not going to try to. So at 8:56, Randy, George, Deanna all come in as well. And then there's handfuls of other people coming in. So my first thought is, please, 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 please do not be viewers of the channel. That's the last thing we need in this courtroom. This is not a circus. This is real life. And why we share the story of our real life, it is not appropriate unless invited to actually invade our real life.
Yeah, well, you know, everyone has I think a better way of saying this, I would say it this way. You do have the right to be there. It is an open court. It's open forum. The thing is that, remember, there are court cases, and court cases, you don't want to give these people any ammunition. So it is indeed, they're talking real stakes. You don't want to give Lynette, Preston, or any of these crazy people anything that they can weaponize. So really be cognizant in it. Because yes, you do have the right to be in an open court, for sure. I believe in your right to be in an open court. I'm sure Hale does too. It's just, these people are losing. They are absolutely losing in this. Lynette Preston is alone. She has been isolated by the same people that grifted all of that money. Now she's standing off by herself. Let her, let her do that there. And you'll hear about it for sure. You notice, I mean, you got plenty of notes. There was also a video of it, And again, if somebody, if you are going, if somebody did go, again, just remember, comport yourself in a specific manner, respect court. Let's see. Let's continue.
And we don't invite many people into our real life. You see why. This is what's happened to us. Most people, 99.9%, cannot be trusted, unfortunately.
That's a sad statement, man. Look, that's what this case has done too. And maybe over time, maybe there will be a better time to, change that. But when you look at people like Storage Boy, and you look at other people that have inserted themselves, like Preston, who wanted money. They were even given leap pads and more. Look at where this stuff is going. Look at how that turned out. It's absolute insanity, man. It's sad. It is. And it's sad because it starts to hit you. I will bet you money too, with recent events. I bet you Hale's like myself or anyone else. We really, with everything that's going on in the last few days, there are crazy people out there that will do harm to folks. Hales gets threats. I mean, geez, I show you some of the weird threats. I can't even imagine what Hales gets in. For me, I show you maybe 1 out of 10. Because some of them are very descript and not funny at all. I can't even imagine what he gets. You've seen them in articles and more. So yeah, it's sad that you have to be like 99% of the people. I can't trust people.
56, Larry, DUI Guy Plus, he jumps in on Zoom as well. Great to see him. Great to see Brett and Therese.
Larry looked really put together.
Circumstances that I have to see my friends in. And so I don't like that we're in these circumstances, but I like seeing and connecting with my friends again, even if it's a simple wave and a simple hi, because, time can pass, but friendships last, the real ones, right? And so it was great to see them all. I see Randy talking to somebody on camera and pointing at things. Now, I've talked to Randy after the actual court case, and he told me what was going on. 2 more deputies come in. I mean, this courtroom is packed with deputies, and then more randoms come in, like handfuls of them. Like this courtroom probably had anywhere between 25 and 30 people in there, and I thought it was going to be George, Deanna, Randy, and maybe Lynette if she chose to show. I'm shocked that she even
Open
showed.
court, yeah.
Oh, but there's more shocks to come.
They have other cases.
Way more shocks to come in. So the biggest shock ever, right? Her bankruptcy lawyer shows up. Yes, Jerome, who's gotten in trouble for illegally giving out his electronic filing information to a disbarred attorney. Oh, sounds like all the attorneys in the anti-what-the-hales ecosystem.
It does.
Yes, Jerome shows up.
It really does.
Her bankruptcy lawyer. Do you think Deuce was telling you the truth that all this money raised? Remember, he said they had an enthusiastic, qualified law firm that was ready to take on all the cases in Florida. He literally lists them. Fed 1, Fed 2, thumbnail, trespass 5. As a matter of fact, we're going to revisit that here just shortly. We are, because you need to know he and Lisa Lee, they committed a felony, fraud by deception. They stole from those people that gave over $6,000. And why isn't anybody asking where the over $1,000 for the quote unquote Ohio lawyer was? What's going on with that money? Is that theft as well? I promise you, we're going to be getting into all of this theft and all of the charges that are going to be coming out of all of these cases. So while I'm wondering why all these people are here, and then Jerome is showing up on Zoom, but yet he couldn't even file the bankruptcy paperwork on time, yet he was here in a court hearing that he doesn't even represent Lynette for. My mind's going, okay, so this guy can't file bankruptcy paperwork on time, but he can show up for a hearing that he's not supposed to be in.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Lynette
blew my mind.
Proves it because the judge asked her. Now, all these people are actually in this courtroom. I find out later because this is the criminal courtroom, except this judge is taking the backup on the civil as all the reshuffling has happened in the Levy County Courthouse, okay, with Mosley retiring. So all of a sudden I see 25, 30 people all stand up and rise. They all rise. And I go, I know what's going on. Judge is coming in. So new judge is coming in. And I got to tell you, this guy does not disappoint. This guy is by the book. This is not a Judge Grudge. This is not a Judge Craig ThATuMBRELLAgUY.
God, you could feel it too. I mean, this judge is very much a by the book, stern level judge. You could feel it. I was surprised too that Jerome popped up. I wonder though. I wonder if the reason he popped up is because he made such a damn mess. I mean, honestly, I mean the guy made such a freaking mess. They were like, oh, yo, you need to show up. I mean, ultimately, too, Lynette, I hope they all, I've said this before, but I hope they all realize if he makes a mess of it, they end up not having the bankruptcy go, it doesn't go forward. Guess what happens with the donor money? He keeps it. They could try to sue him for it back, but I don't think that will help. Getting a terrible lawyer that's still your lawyer. Unfortunately, that's how it works. So I think she has some problems there, and I will laugh myself. Oh God, to sleep. There's still deficiencies, by the way. So Max Lab sent these over. I hope I mentioned this yesterday, but I wanted to bring this up as part of this today. So there was a filing on 9/11. By the way, I apologize too. I did not, it's been a minute. I left the Brett thing up there. I apologize for that too. But with 9/11, I don't know if I said anything about that. Because I loved our first responders, all the soldiers, everything that happened with all of that, man. Oh, so crazy. Let me catch these two and I'll pull this thing up. Emma, thanks for the 25 months. Finally, a judge who actually wants to do his job right. Yes, fingers crossed it stays that way. Yeah, he looked good in that. I think he is. I've heard Judge Grabe is a pretty by the books decent judge. Now I will see, but I've heard good things from people I would trust their opinions on. So we'll see. William, thanks for the 20 there. With Dan Owens' issue, brings new perspective with police recording. One deputy was clearly upset and accusing Hales of providing a falsified police. Yes, they were looking, I think it's the one at town. They were looking for a reason to put Jeremy Hales in jail. It's crazy, isn't it? So I'm glad that Jeremy Hales, he has more cameras, I think, than they realize. I think that scares them. I think he records all the time he's out, and he has to. It's a crazy world, but he has to. And I'm glad he does, because if he didn't, I imagine that they would handle him like if he didn't have the amount of people watching, right, like he does now, I dread what would have happened to him. And God knows what's happened before in their counties, Who knows what they've done to people. Check this out, though. This is about the bankruptcy, too. If you haven't seen this, I think this is important to note. So in 9/11, you had a final notice to file proof of service. So Jerome there is hereby reminded of the requirement to serve the documents referenced herein, file a certificate of service within 3 days. So we had 3 days from this coming up. So did it happen? Has it happened? I don't know. Snail mail. He's snail mailing. So, well, it's God, what a mess there. Failure to comply. The notice herein, it may result in hearings being canceled and or the matter being denied for failure to comply with the notice requirements. Again, this guy's a mess. He is mad. This is Bruce's guy too. Just remember that this is Bruce's dude. So he picked him out himself. 2L and them. They told these people that's where your money went, folks. So I hope, like I said, I hope people understand. Like they screwed you. They did. Let's continue.
By any stretch of the imagination. I got to tell you, I like this judge already. I beyond don't like this guy already. So Lynette comes forward, whether she was called, I didn't have sound yet, I don't know. Lynette comes forward to come up to the front. You usually have two tables, and then the judge is up top, and she comes up to the front. She goes over to the left, my viewing left. If I was in the courtroom walking in the doors, it would be to the right, but you got to realize everything's backwards when I'm viewing. Deputy grabs her a chair. She sits down at a desk with all these other, they're county workers, prosecutors, offices, 3Ls, assistants, you name it. They're all there in the courtroom. Now, remember, Larry is on the Zoom as well, and it's very evident that Larry is a lawyer, and he's he's got his background, all of his legal books, the whole
looks
deal.
good, too.
Larry's always dressed to the T.
He is. He's dressed freaking to the nines. He looks so good in this. He really does. I love it because everybody, they notice him as a lawyer, you know. Larry, you know what I like about Larry? Larry looks like a professional, but he also looks like a shark. Like he doesn't look, you know, when you see a lawyer that is competent and you're like, that guy's a killer. That guy right there, he takes people down. And I've seen enough videos with him. Like they're all over online if you want to check them out with him wrecking people. But he looks like that. He looks competent. He's well dressed. You know, like his hair, everything is maintained well. The background, everything is put together. It's so wild. If you've seen that video, you can see him on there too. And you see him, and then you have Lynette's lawyer. It was so confusing with the judge because it was pretty funny. The judge thought that was Lynette's lawyer, that Larry was Lynette's lawyer because he looked like the professional. That says something about the way somebody's perceived with the optics. You know, you're respecting that court too. When you go into a courtroom, you want to look like you're respecting it. And especially an officer of the court coming in, even if you're an outsider, it's amazing how good his stuff looks. I've got to give him big ups for that. Debbie, I saw that super sticker just pop too. That's cool, man. I love those. Thank you. Well, thank you back, man. Thank you very much, Debbie. I appreciate you. You know, thank you all for 2,600 of you today, too. Fridays and Saturdays are worst streaming days. So I appreciate you all being here. You know, I don't like the thumbnails. Like I said, I've been messing around for the last few days, playing with AI, making them. And again, what's really funny is that lady on the front thumbnail, that is not Lynette. I never gave them a picture of Lynette Preston. I did not ask it to make a Lynette Preston. It just made a lady. I described in one paragraph some particulars that I thought really go with Lynette Preston, and that's what it made. And I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. Let's go.
Looks the part. He is the part. He's the real deal.
Yeah, Larry.
And so the judge recognizes this immediately, and all of a sudden we have sound, and the judge asks Larry if he's representing one of the parties today. And Larry goes, no, judge.
He says, he actually says, is he Lynette's lawyer is what he's saying. It's so good, man. I was very amused by that. You know, and that's honestly, that is the biggest that's the biggest shout out for a guy when a guy is just a party in a lawsuit and they're like, yo, are you a counsel in this? Oh, it's so good.
Actually, Mr. Shockett, Randy Shockett, is representing me. So I could see where the judge would actually be a little bit confused because Larry is at the top of the game and the judge is going, this guy is representing somebody today.
Yeah.
But Larry was smart because that's just what he is, right? And he lawyered up with Randy in regards to this thumbnail case.
Yeah, that's what you do too.
Randy represents
lawyers. It's just like in any therapists have therapists, right? That's typical. Lawyers, you need lawyers. You notice Bruce. That's the other thing that really made me laugh when the Fed case rolled around. You have who not having lawyers versus who does. You notice all the lawyers that are involved in these cases, they have lawyers for themselves. The only people that don't are the people that aren't lawyers. So the lawyers lawyered up. That's telling. That's the one thing I think, a message from Bruce that they should have taken to heart. Bruce got a lawyer. They think that they shouldn't. You know, he got a professional, but they want to play it. Well, I'm going to listen to the advice of these idiots who look at where they are. And again, maybe that'll work out for them, but that is a huge gamble.
Myself, Larry, George, Tat, and others in this case. So then all of a sudden, Jerome, I used to kind of like that name, huh? It's still not a bad name. You know, people used to say, Jeremiah, your name's Jeremiah. No, it's still Jeremy. So growing up, I was called Germ mostly. I mean, even more than Jeremy. So I've always, Germ has been my name from forever. So when the what the Hales individuals called me Germ, they are literally in my circle. That was a term of endearment. Like I call George. I have all kinds of names for George that we laugh about, but they're terms of endearment.
I do too.
That's the
That's the thing, man. I got, you know, I'm sure all of you, for people that you care about, you have you have in terms of endearment. You know, my oldest daughter, you know, I call her Lizard, for example. She actually loves being called Lizard, but you know, playing off of her real name. And it's funny. They thought they weaponized Germ to try to do harm to Jeremy Hales. And it turns out it's a statement that one that he doesn't mind. I love that. I think that's hilarious.
Hales ecosystem keeps calling me Germ. All they're doing is showing how much they love me, which is sick. I get it. It's sick. But at any rate, Jerome is there. And Jerome steps up and starts talking. He isn't called on. He just starts telling the judge. The judge asks, who are you? What do you represent? And he goes, he goes on to state, no, I'm her lawyer in bankruptcy court, and it is due to my failure. He literally states this, due to my failure to file documents on time in the bankruptcy. It was dismissed. What was amazing about that? It's the only time I've ever heard anyone in the anti-Hales ecosystem, representatives, anybody ever take credit for what horrible stuff they've done. Ever. I've never heard them take credit. So that's crazy, isn't it? And by the way, who's your daddy? Thanks for the 5 there. Do you think Dan Owens was there thinking Jeremy would be in the courtroom? Has anyone checked to see if by chance they issued a warrant for Jeremy? I wonder this. Okay, first of all, I think Dan Owens was there intentionally. This is my opinion. I think he was there intentionally because of Jeremy Hales. But they have other cases in these. They have an open for, like he said, there's a bunch of people there. That's because they're going to have other cases that they hear too. If you have like a 10-minute hearing, they schedule everything. They just keep scheduling and they stack cases on top of each other. If you have hours, then you have hours set aside and the court won't be full. But typically someone like Dan Owens, well, why are they there? You're talking, he has enough underlings that he doesn't have to be there. So that makes me curious about that, I think that's a legit question. I think he was there intentionally, because otherwise, I mean, is he there all the time? And Laura dropped a freaking, let me see it. I love him. Let me see it. Look at it. I love it. Thank you for that super sticker too. I couldn't see it. I was like, where is it? There it is. Big thumbs up. Thank you. I was like, where's that freaking thing at? It didn't show up on the top for me. I was like, man, I want to see this super sticker. Thank you, Laura. I much appreciate that. I hate it when it won't show them to me. So I appreciate you. And thank you all again for being here too. guy that the anti-what-the-hales ecosystem paid $6,000+ for, as they were lied to that he was going to represent her in the thumbnail case. He was going to represent her in the Trespass 5 case, Fed 1, Fed 2. They were completely and totally lied to and stolen from. And the guy is in the courtroom now, uninvited. Oh, well, you're going to find out who invited him, stating that the bankruptcy is now null and void because he failed. I mean, I thought he was going to point the finger at Lynette for sure. Like, she didn't give me the information, which I guarantee you
I expected
didn't.
that.
So much of the information is all screwed up already, and it's lies on the filings. So he's in there going, the only reason why the bankruptcy is actually null and void right now is because I failed to file. That's what your stolen money went to, all you fools who gave the money. Another horrific loser, failure lawyer who can't do the job right. Just like Deuce, like Paint Chips, like Lips. You want me to keep going on? Like Stark.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going on. And then he states, Lynette asked me to be here. So Judge didn't ask him to be there. Lynette asked him to be there to state where the bankruptcy is at this point. The judge then asked, he says, is this a active bankruptcy? Is this still in the process? What's going on? And Jerome states, no, it's currently dismissed. We are refiling. Now, you need to understand, just because they're refiling, and they have refiled, the federal court has to grant it. I think there's a very slim chance that the federal court is even going to grant another round at this bankruptcy. And I want it. I want it so bad. I want the bankruptcy.
I told you he wants the. Oh, there you go. I told you he wants that bankruptcy. I knew it. Like, it's just everything. There's so many positives in the bankruptcy for him. There are no negatives in the bankruptcy. Like I said, if they bring it forward, Lynette doesn't get this. He benefits greatly from the bankruptcy. The only person that suffers for the bankruptcy is her. Sure, they delay, but time, the one thing that sucks there is it equals money. Sure. That is the harmful thing. But he's going to get his money's worth. Oh my God. She's an idiot for thinking that bankruptcy has any positive at all. I cannot wait to see how this stuff comes out, because again, no matter how it goes, it's a laugh track. I'm going to be particularly amused. If it doesn't work, I'm going to say they stole $6,000 from backers. They stole it, and they promised something that never was delivered. If it goes forward, Jeremy Hales gets even more ammunition. So it's win-win. They are such idiots. And if they think that that's not the case, remember, we talked about stuff like this before with Fed 1. I firmly believe that Lynette Preston delaying Fed 1 was the dumbest thing she could have ever done. It was absolutely the dumbest thing that she could have ever done. Oh, I love these people. They're so stupid.
You got to realize there's sometimes that I'm not sharing all my strategy.
No.
Sometimes I'm saying what I want them to hear, which is part of a strategy to win.
That's another thing.
And sometimes I'm saying,
every now and then I will say something that has a point. Like if I definitively here's a thing. I guess it would be telling for you folks. If I don't definitively tell you something is real, I may be gaslighting these weirdos because it's amusing to me, because they lose their minds. And I hope you understand that, because they're too stupid not to let minor things get under their skin. They open up, they tell you way more than they should about all kinds of stuff. And it's fun. It's absolutely fun. I enjoy it too. So, like I said, if I show you receipts for it, I'm 100% definitively saying that is the truth. If not, maybe I'm messing with them. Especially if I'm like, you can say that. Now, you know, maybe that is it. We'll see. And there's some stuff we don't know the answers to as well. But it's fun. It's fun to make them very mad. You have to admit, like they're breakdowns. Man, William, I saw that come in too. Thank you for that super sticker. I don't think I've ever seen that one. A good game. You know, I don't know if I've ever seen that one. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. I always like seeing new ones too. Jack's mom, what's up? Thanks for the fun there. I wonder if they paid $6K to cover other anti-bankruptcies so they could delay, like falling dominoes to delay over and over again. That is a very interesting idea. I don't know if that has any truth to it at all. I can't say, but that is a really interesting idea for that. You know, pay for them all to keep delaying. You know, ultimately, the problem with delaying is they end up costing themselves more money down the road too. Like if Jeremy Hales has to spend more money to do something, it doesn't help them. It actually hurts them. It's more liability. I mean, they think it's an amusing little game, but it gives them more time to try to find information. It kind of cracks me up. Because they're not smart enough to realize they're playing against Randy again. Randy is pretty good at this game. You know, he's been pretty damn good at it. So for them, they're not. They are not at all. Let's continue. I like this.
What I don't want them to hear, which is also part of a strategy to win. Now, you're probably scratching your head right now going, what do you mean? Well, when it's all said and done, I'll let you know what I mean. Do I want the bankruptcy case? Do I not want the bankruptcy case? Do I keep saying I want it so bad so that they don't do it? Or do I keep saying I don't want it and I do want it so they don't know? Or I don't want it so they do it?
He does.
This is going to be interesting.
I think he does.
Judge says so. There is no stay in a bankruptcy.
See, I love that too. That's another thing. When people listen to Hales, you got to remember these people's egos and everything. They've been their own undoing. So it's pretty funny to listen to them like freak out. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. Let me see. There's another super chat. 1 second here. Hey, Debbie. What's up, Debbie? Appreciate you. Thanks for the 10 mods and chat. Thank you so much for all your support. Hey, love to you, Debbie. Appreciate you. For 100% mods. Love to you, mods, too. That's good to bring up. Chat. Always love you. But yeah, mods, too. Love you guys. Appreciate you. You know, I saw the other day. I want to shout this out, too. I saw the other day somebody had come in and they were wanting to be disruptive. They did it when the girls came up and they were letting them, you know, do their thing. The mods were letting them. There's no line that says you can't be, you know, as long as you're not trying to destroy the chat or whatever, it's okay. And the mods 100% were letting to carry on. Well, when the little one came in, they tried to put something. See, I get to see the messages when they're held and stuff. And I saw a little nasty thing. And one of the mods caught it like, bam, and knocked it out. And man, mods, I appreciate that stuff. You know, I like having a thing where if one of the little ones, right now they're having another. So last night they had a sister night. They had a movie night together, the sisters hanging out. They said it was a sister night, which is cute. I thought that was great. Well, tonight they wanted to hang out some more. They thought they built a big fort with like stuffed animals and pillows. So they're hanging out and they're sharing like short. They're not watching total movies, but I heard tell that Electric Dreams came on 3 or 4 times, and I forget what the littlest one wanted to watch, but they just keep switching up the same thing over and over again. It's pretty funny. But thanks, mods. I appreciate you. Emma, see, that's super sticker too. That's cute. That's very cute. I love it. Thank you, Emma. I don't know if I've seen that one either, to be honest. If I have, it's been a minute. So thank you.
Says no. There is no stay. There's nothing. There's no
So
bankruptcy
Jerome
case
there.
right now. But we are.
So they bring him in, and he has to look at what Jeremy's saying here. It's pretty funny. So he comes in, the bankruptcy guy, and he's like, no. There's no stay, but we're working on refiling one.
Looking to reinstate the case. And the judge goes, we're moving forward.
Yep.
There is no federal stay. There is nothing right now. Remember Lynette's ex parte letter that she wrote? All lies. And so Jerome is just simply there to say, I screwed up. I didn't file the paperwork on time, and we're going to try and get it reinstated, which it's not reinstated. It has to be federally approved. It is not, probably will not, unfortunately, or fortunately, who knows? We'll see. So the judge says, yep, we're moving forward. Federal law, he starts quoting law. Federal law approves and allows me to keep moving forward.
Yep.
And so he then goes on to say, well, maybe potentially what we should do is case management conferences on these motions in the thumbnail case and the trespass 5 case. Now, I know when I say thumbnail case and trespass 5 case, there may be some individuals who are like, I'm just new to this, what the hales and what's going on. Where do I find out all about this? There's years to get you up to speed on. And you can find it all in the Otter Freaks playlist or Otter Creek playlist. I think it's Otter Creek. So the judge says maybe it would be smart if we have some case management conferences on the motion.
Would you all want to cover the trespass without filing and understand it? Thumbnail case is pretty. It's not a. I mean, we could do a synopsis of it pretty fast, but the thumbnail, it's so funny, man. So before that, do you think, like, again, I don't think the people that are coming over that are coming over from the ecosystem, I don't think they know. I don't think they've ever seen the lawsuit. So, and considering that, I mean, it's a funny lawsuit. I love it. I love it because it's such a trash lawsuit. You know, what if you've never dealt with lawyers either? Look up a good case. If you look up a case that you've seen something on, look that up. All right, we should go over that. We will. I'm gonna plan that for you guys. Okay, that way, before the 22nd, we definitively, like I said, I want to show everything to people. Again, you make up your own minds on this stuff. I'm whether you, and you need to understand this too. You don't have to like Jeremy Hales for him to be right. You don't have to like me for me to be right, or Megan Fox, or any of it. You don't have to like us. Any of us that in it. When you look at the filing, that's different. It's its own thing. You could love us, and we tell you something, and you think, man, you're wrong on that. But at least you should have the case in front of you and see it. It is one of the worst case filings I've ever seen, though. It sounds like it. Do you ever listen to somebody ramble? I'm not talking about like I talk and I ramble a bit, shiny squirrel. But have you ever listened to like these ecosystem folks like Bruce? Have you ever listened to him just ramble on about like conspiracy and this other nonsense? Well, they put it in a filing. They put this stuff in a filing. And it is insane. And it is a loser of a case. And they knew it. Oh man, Christine, I'll have to bust out. Hey, what's up, Beast? By the way, I'll have to bust you out a birthday song. I definitely will. I will. We go. Let me make sure I note that. All right. I will at the end when we get through that. And happy birthday to you. Let me bust you out a little song like this short one, but I'll bust you out the big one. Happy birthday from all of us to you. Yeah. Happy birthday. May all those dreams, all of them, come true for sure. Love to you, buddy. And we'll play your one too.
So that we can actually break down all the fees and the costs. Because remember, in Trespass 5, we are suing for all of the legal fees, all damages associated with what they've done with this frivolous lawsuit. That Deuce told Lynette she was going to win millions in.
Yep.
Never, ever. ever.
She did. She promised them they would make millions off these cases. So Lynette, just like I really believe now, again, I would love to see Janine Stark. You know, she's out on her own out there. Miss Stark, if you definitively would like to spill the beans on these weirdos, I would love to hear it. In fact, we could talk about some kind of a monetary arrangement, depending on what you spill the beans on for them. I would love to hear how these people approached you for real, what they promised you, because I feel like they probably left you high and dry. You know, Janine Stark is out there in the workforce, living in a home, I guess, with a roommate, from what it sounds like. But they were promised millions, just like Lynette. And look where they are. Crazy, isn't it?
And they failed to abide by safe harbor. Trespass 5, they never even responded. They're suing for $56,000 plus damages as well. Oh boy. And boy, did the judge have some things to say about Trespass 5. Oh, and that would be Therese and Brett and Rex and Deanna and Corporal Gregory of the Levy County Sheriff Department. So I'm just in awe right now. I literally can't understand even what I just witnessed in court. But you know, it's just another day in Levy County. So Randy steps up and says, listen, Lynette is in default. She is in default right now in bankruptcy, and she's in default right now in Trespass 5 as well because of that case. So Trespass 5, she never responded. So default means they bring forth the lawsuit. She has so many days to respond. They don't respond. There's a default judgment. Everybody get that? You have the right to respond. If you don't respond, then a judgment is placed against you. And Randy tells the judge, Lynette is in default. She never, ever responded. Scott Stark, nothing. Deuce, nothing. She's in default. And the judge, boy, the judge, you know what? Before we get into the judge, remember Jerome is there, right? Yep. Talking about all of this going on. Remember that Deuce said that they were raising all this money for a lawyer that is enthusiastic, qualified to represent her in these 4 cases. Oh, you don't remember? Even as the judge asked Jerome if he was there to represent her, and he said no. He was just there to clarify that he screwed up in the bankruptcy court. Well, let's go back. Let's hear what Deuce actually said. His own words.
We found a firm, an enthusiastic, qualified law firm that's ready to step in.
A lawyer who doesn't even have the right to file electronically.
Yes, and they noted that this person would be handling all 4 cases. That, I think, that is the most important thing. They didn't say delaying cases. They said he would be handling the cases, because they're right now, even though 2L and the gang have tried to remove themselves from any type of liability with it, they are also trying to tell people that, well, actually, that makes me so mad when people do that to folks, that again, they gave them a significant $6,000 ain't a joke, man. That's a lot of money, you know, and to have somebody pop up and be like, well, actually, no, that's criminal, man.
Now, who couldn't even get to the point of filing timely in his paperwork for Lynette. This is an enthusiastic and qualified firm for federal court, for state court.
I think it appeals to people to step up and help, and that's where we're at now. Thankfully, right. we have a law firm. The fee is $6,000, and that's been discussed, and they're going to be able to really handle everything in Florida. There's 4 things going on in Florida.
I find that odd, as the judge literally asked Jerome, "Are you here to represent Lynette Preston?" And he said, "No."
Yep.
Deuce, That's number 1, immoral. Number 2, unethical. And number 3, illegal. You stole from the people.
There's the federal case. Then there's the second one with all the 10 or 11, I guess now, defendants. Then there's the thumbnails case.
You just heard it from his own lying, cowardly mouth. And Lisa Lee.
Yep, he made it clear right there, did he not? That this is supposed to be covering multiple cases. Do you feel like Lynette is covered with multiple cases? Do you feel, Lynette, do you feel like you're represented? There's a question too. Lynette may be dumb enough to think that, but I'm curious. Lynette, Preston, do you think that these people acted in good faith and they got you the best representation that your money could buy? Do you feel like you're somehow going to get out of this stuff? I'm very curious how she feels about that. Because if it were me, I would be very pissed off about this whole. I actually wonder if Lynette Preston left her own devices, if she would have moved on with her mess and left Jeremy Hales alone after a time. You know, without somebody telling her that legally she can do whatever she wants. I wonder. And again, that doesn't take any pressure off of her. I mean, she's responsible for her own actions, but it does make you wonder, would she have done this? Would she have gone out of her way to do it this way if? I wonder, what do you think about that? Do you think, I don't really think she would have backed off, but it's possible. It's possible she might have been scared off by an actual lawyer. You know, Randy being involved or something after the protective order. See, after the protective order fell and she lost there, I'm sure Silverman was like, yo, you need to stop. You need to go handle your crap. And you notice she didn't stop. So let's see. What's up? Rand, thank you for the 20 there. I've been watching What the Hell since 2021. Before they even moved to Florida. So yeah, I remember all that transpired. Jeremy Sue, Levy County Sheriff's Department, as well as Dan Owens. Yes, he actually, that's something, again, that would be down the road because there's so much involved. But yeah, I'm thinking that, I mean, they tried to put him in jail, man. That blows my mind. They were going to have him arrested over a protective order he had. They tried to tear his protective order. I've never heard. And Levy County, they don't prosecute like criminals for horrible stuff. But they were going to prosecute for that if they could make it work. It is mind blowing. So you're right. You are 100% right.
All the she's not out of this either. She knew exactly what she was promoting fundraising for. She put the link in her chat, the whole deal. She's an accomplice. They're both looking at charges for felony theft.
Number 4 is the Grangers.
The judge begins to speak to everybody and states that these motions in both the thumbnail case and the trespass 5 case with the Grangers are punitive and financials. And he literally states this to Lynette. He states this. He looks at her and he says, checks will be written. You get this, right?
She said this was a lie, by the way. Lynette Preston tried to say that this part right here was a lie. And it blew my mind because it is in the freaking recording. So anybody who thinks that that is true, that is a lie there is a video of the court hearing. So she gets cornered with that and she's like, oh, I just didn't remember that. Well, there's a big difference in saying I don't remember that and this person's a liar. She gets caught definitively lying and still wants to worm around it. What's up, Janice? Thanks for the 10 there. Tuggy of Grayma, yes, for sure. 100%. Loved him, like I said. I wonder if the former ecosystem supporters are signed have ever seen the original trespass or thumbnail cases and the countersuits after Lynette dropped the suits. Yeah, see, I don't think they have. You know, I don't think people that were that been watching 2L and the gang, I don't think they have ever seen the actual filings, because if they did, I don't think they would have pumped their money into it. They were failures from the start. Not only that, but the whole idea. So the thumbnail case is, wait a minute. It's based on a statute that we talked about this, and it was a failure right from go. See, she tried to play it off that no one could use her likeness. That was the 540.08. And the problem with it, again, I'll pull this up with you real fast, just to know. The reason that they dropped this was because the statute, if you look it up, see, this is one of the things you should do on your own. You should always look up the statute that is being sued over. So 540.08, they said unauthorized production. They tried to say essentially with this, if you look at it, it says, oh, no person that can print, display, blah, 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 should great win right off the bat. You have to have permission, except when you go in and you look at what this doesn't apply to. What doesn't it apply to? The publication, printing, display, use of name and likeness in any newspaper, magazine, book, news broadcast, telecast, or other news medium or publication. It is part of bona fide news report or presentation having a current and legitimate public interest. You realize having over 1,000 people viewing something, like right now we have over 2,000 people, when you have that puts you in over 1,000 viewers is in the top 0.1% of live streamers. That is you're talking about above media and all these other places. That is bona fide public interest. So they don't have an argument. Let me bring this back up. They don't have an argument, and they knew it. They absolutely knew that. They knew it wouldn't stand up. Otherwise, if they thought they could win, they would have kept going. And they tried to use Scott Stark's health, but they dropped it well before the health stuff had come up. They were using excuses like his technology didn't work or this or that. Scott Stark didn't even know what the case was about. Like when he was asked about it, he didn't even know. It's crazy. Health Lock and Luke, thanks for the 60 minutes. I think at TLDR, you've had Megan go over TLDRs for the cases, but I think we could go over like with a live. We could just do one live and talk about the cases. I think that would be helpful. That way we can pull all the documents. With a canned video, we can talk about the certain things with 8 to 10 minutes, but you don't get into the particulars of what's really there and how bad it is. One of the problems with a canned video, this is one of the things that I run into. If you don't have a 40-minute freaking video on stuff, sometimes you don't get into just how bad some of these filings really are. When you start to read them, then you realize why they didn't. But you're right, man. You were right, Elf Luck and Lou. Appreciate you too. Appreciate you, Elf Luck and Lou. I like how that rhymed up. Kevin, what's up? Drop 10 there. There's not a statement attached, Kevin, but like I say plenty of times, backing the channel is a huge statement, and it is much appreciated. You folks that back, again, I do this as a job these days. I have been lucky to be able to do that in my life. I get to spend my time, I've had health problems. I've been able to try to get that stuff under control. I also, in the last 6 weeks, have lost 13 pounds. Ooh, walking, baby. When doctors are like, you can't, blah, blah, blah. And, I've been able to spend time with my kids. I get to go do stuff with them. And the day I get to homeschool, whatever I want to do with them. And it's great. These are the times you appreciate. So I can't say that enough. I appreciate you folks. Thank you. Like yourself, Kevin, you make that possible. Thank you, brother.
She's at fault. She will be paying. Do you understand? Oh my goodness, what Deuce has done to this woman's life. First of all, they should have never stalked us. Second of all, they should have actually adhered to the cease and desist.
Yep.
Third of all, They should have never had third-party contact with Deuce, with
Right.
Lisa, with all these other stupid lame, and you name them. They're all there, right? Bonehead. We could keep going on if we wanted to, but none of this had to happen. If anybody would have just used some common sense, and
Yep.
now all of these individuals, they're going to lose everything in their lives in the court system. He says checks are
It's a
going to be
huge
written.
gamble.
Then he
too.
goes,
Even if they're like, no, we're not going to lose. Man, it's a huge gamble. Huge gamble. Because if they lose, you got to remember this too. They are under the impression that if they lose, they can write out this stuff in bankruptcy. But like I was telling you, and look this up on your own, you will see that I'm right in this. You cannot write off something that is done with malicious intent. If you willfully go out and try to ruin someone's life, if you willfully destroy business and more, you can't just go, I'm going to write that off like so much debt. You can write off accrued debt and other things, but you can't do that when you are trying to. You set fire to someone's life and try to burn it down. You don't get to then say, whoops, my bad. Okay, I'm gonna push reset. It doesn't work that way.
well, if a bankruptcy does come into play again, which they have filed a motion, again, it has to be approved, then things will be paused. But as of right now, we're moving forward. We are moving forward.
Yep.
And again, he asked, Jerome, do you represent Lynette? Nope, absolutely not. And Lynette then interrupts him, literally interrupts him. And I have to admit, I start laughing because Lynette's first words are, my lawyer died.
Oh my God, I laughed when I heard her do that.
My mom didn't die again. And I start giggling on Zoom and I have to put my head down like this. George is in the courtroom. We're going to get George on here in just a moment and get her whole perspective. I mean, the insanity.
When I heard her do that, my mom died. My mom didn't, she throws that in there. And there was a good post also. Again, Melissa does great posts, but Lynette Preston is claiming that she's never knew anything about the court case and doesn't have documents and more, doesn't know how to get them. Yeah, there's proof that you're lying, Lynette. You know what that is? You were served with the documents. There's actually proof that you yourself were served with these things. It's dated. One second, I can clear my throat. It's dated and everything. So I'll have to pull that up too. It's beautiful there. Hey, thanks, Emma. Appreciate that. Congrats on the wave. Indeed. You know what? One thing had to happen in my life. I'd been having all these health issues, and doctors are very good when you're having health issues and stuff and making you feel like, man, there's nothing I can do. Well, you know what? I'll do whatever I can until I can. I was like, screw this. And that mentality right there helps out a lot more than you'd realize. And everything, it doesn't work with everything, mind you. But a lot of times they preach a gospel of hopelessness, and we don't need that in our lives. So I appreciate it. And I appreciate people giving me, like I said, you all helped giving time to get everything together. I'm not a spring chicken by any means, but I still got more time. So I will have fun laughing at stupid people, and I will enjoy everything, kids and everything else. Let's continue though. With this, I can't believe how stupid these people have been.
Of it all. But Lynette uses the famous line, died. My lawyer died. Now,
Yep.
I don't wish death upon anybody. And if they do die, I
Nope.
wish that they spend eternity with their creator. That's a decision they have to make. I can't make it for them. But Lynette starts immediately. And she goes, why would you hold me to this? This is such a bad deal for me, to the judge. Now, keep in mind what Lynette has tried to do, and successfully with Judge Craig ThATuMBRELLAgUY in the past, right? This is the same garbage that she's done in court before. And Judge Groby literally, very politely, but very sternly told her, ma'am, you're in over your head.
Yep.
I can't give you legal advice.
Yep.
The only thing I can do is
he started to tell her essentially like, you're screwed here, lady. That's what he started with. And then he's like, I actually can't give you legal advice, you know, which is true. He cannot give you legal advice. But he told her without giving her legal advice, you need to lawyer up. You need a real, and you know what, Lynette, I want to make this clear to you too, lady. Get a lawyer that isn't part of the anti-Hales ecosystem. You know, do it, because they're not helping you.
Tell you, you better get an attorney because this isn't going to work out well for you. And he shut her up immediately.
Yep.
He literally told her.
He did. He shut her down, man.
Judgments against
it was amazing.
You better lawyer up in a real hurry because you're screwed. The judge is literally telling her she's screwed. Oh my goodness. And he goes, you are going to be held to the exact same standard as if you were a lawyer in this courtroom.
That's a good here.
That's
a great statement too, because a lot of times when a person goes pro bono, you know, you shouldn't be penalized because you pay for a lawyer and these idiots don't. And sometimes, I mean, like with the Thomases these days, it feels like that's been the case. In fact, he's gone above and beyond to help these people when he shouldn't be. This judge here, he didn't make it feel like that at all. He felt like it was, yeah, you better get your crap done. You better make it work out. And I kind of liked hearing that, to be honest. It's like, you know, that's refreshing. If you choose, you have the right to represent yourself. You absolutely do. But you're an idiot if you do. And they have had plenty of money to get lawyers. They've chosen at every turn to go other ways. So that's their bad.
Complete and total contrast from Judge Grudge to Judge Groby now. I mean, just mind-boggling. And I'm going, I love this guy. I love this guy.
So far,
he put her in her place, told her she is going to be writing checks. There is going to be money going to be going out to us, to the Grangers, tells her she better lawyer up because this isn't going to work out well for her at all. She is way in over her head. Yeah. This is the judge. I loved it. Oh my goodness. We are working right now to get the video, if there's video, but it's a criminal courtroom, so we don't know if there's actual video or not. We're attempting to get it, just like we FOIA everything else. All right. And then there's this whole conversation about a default.
You know, that's another thing for the ecosystem they don't do. You know, that if they ever get something FOIA'd, they do not share something unless they think it would absolutely hurt Jeremy Hales. We cover every court document that we can. I mean, within reason, there are so many sometimes that if we miss one, that is not intentional, but sometimes it happens. But we cover everything. We try to. We FOIA all the messages to see if stuff is real. I want to know if things are happening. And one of the things I have found is that Hales, when he said stuff, he's been very truthful about, like, if I'm going to get this, or we're trying to get that. He has been very forthright and truthful in that, you know. He's been an open book with that kind of stuff. So that's actually refreshing. In the ecosystem, I never see them showcasing the documents in court, their responses. Like I said, we go over the responses for them. I'm on the side of truth. Like, you know, when people talk about sides with this stuff, I'm not on Hales or whatever side. I'm on the side of truth. And Hales has been very clear that the truth has been with him. So let's continue.
Judgment on the trespass 5. Default judgment, meaning that the lawsuit was filed by Madam Mayor and Brett Granger. So Teresa and Brett, they filed, and Lynette doesn't respond. Stark doesn't respond. There's no response. Therefore, they had elapsed that time frame. Think of it as the same as her bankruptcy court. That's so many days to actually respond with the proper filings. Her enthusiastic, qualified law firm, which is nothing more than a failed lawyer in Miami who can't get anything correct or right, just like Deuce, just like Paint Chips, just like Lips, just like, you know, this whole group of freaks and fools. And so They do nothing, and the whole conversation starts between Randy and the judge on, this is default. This is easy. This is just going to be default judgment.
Yep.
In other words, let me make this very, very, very clear. Lynette lost already in Trespass 5. That's what the judge and Randy were talking about. The judge said, all right, this is easy. This is a default. Just file your motion, and it'll be approved. That's it. That is it. Lynette is already 99.9% lost on Trespass 5.
Oh, yeah.
That is a fifth.
Well, that's a garbage lawsuit, man. That, like he said, this lawyer is like, you get your stuff in, you got to prove costs. So he'll see what the costs were, what everybody spent. Well, here you go.
$56,000. $56,000.
56 grand.
Plus damages. And the judge told Randy, just give me the list of all the damages.
So 56,000 plus. Now, will people see a dime from her? But that will be over her head all forever. She thinks she's going to, she got scummy people to tell her that she would be able to somehow, in some way, kick these loose. That's not going to happen, man. She is so screwed. I think she should sue the idiot lawyers that she threw in with. These people gave her such bad advice. And again, that is no love to her on that. I think she's a terrible human being. 100%. I think she is an awful person. But I also think that they took her and they made things worse.
File it. I'll approve it. We move forward. That will be done before bankruptcy can get denied or approved. So it looks like Brett and Therese are going to be owning turd purgatory here real soon. Now they moved to Tennessee. I think we're going to get new neighbors, George. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. They're coming back. Okay. Well, at least we know there's a camper hookup there already for them, right? They're traveling, living their best life in their RV.
That's funny.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, you cannot make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up.
I never thought that things they would go the way they have, because I thought they would win, but I thought they would at least try to push a case. I mean, Bruce really thought that if they dropped the case, that there would be no way that you could get damages. He thought that. As a lawyer, he thought that. And that is 100% provable, by the way. I'll actually pull up his statements on that just to prove that to you.
Okay. Judge then goes on to tell Lynette, you better find another lawyer, and tells Randy, file for default immediately. And then the judge says, he goes on to then say that, oh, yes. He wants full.
This, by the way, I want to show this real quick and we'll come right back. But to say that this is true, again, I want to make sure that you understand it is 100% legit. Bruce published this. He said that all of this stuff is a storyline for PR. That as far as the thumbnail case, once they dropped it, it was closed. There would be no sanctions motion scheduled. So remember, all this stuff is not real. It never happens, right? Except that you see it's real. It's happening. February 5th, that was how long this has been delayed by the way. February the 5th, it was a motion for summary judgment, which is moot. There's no basis to seek damages for having to spend money to defend a frivolous lawsuit unless you prevailed on the underlying allegedly frivolous lawsuit on its merit. You prevail, by the way, by winning. When they drop it, he's trying to tell you that a person can sue you, cost you tens of thousands of dollars, and you have no recourse whatsoever. That's so strange, isn't it? He's like, we voluntarily dismissed it. We can refile, but it's all fake. Then he went after Megan and said Megan's promoting because it's creating suspense. It's fake. She's just monetizing. And you see where we are now. So who lied to you? Who lied to you in that? That's one of, like I said, I want people to understand these folks have been lying for a long time there. You know, I did 28 miles on a bike. That's amazing, by the way. I've been doing a baseline of, so today I do steps. Now, sometimes the steps, they, my distance, I have big feet. So I have, I cover quite a bit, but my steps are minimum. I go 10,000 a day. Today I went 11,264 steps on the day. And for the week, I've gotten in 94,000 steps. So that, I thought that was pretty good. You know, last week I ended with 100, week before 141. It just depends. Sometimes my knee, you know, like I said, I have a permanent disability on it. So sometimes it does not like that. So, but I do it as much as I can. But that is amazing, Emma. That is. I enjoy working out one of these days. It helps. Yes, it does. I love to walk. I read up on this stuff while I'm walking. I listen to people's videos or live streams when I'm walking, so it helps too. Jack's mom, thanks for the 2. How does it work when Crook is half owner? That's a good question too. That is a good question, actually. There's a lot of legal items in there, you know, but they're already in the jackpot for a few $1,000s. Legal costs. So we'll see. But that is a good question. You know, maybe Hales and Crook could co-own. I'm just joking. How would that work if you had a protective order against the other person that you co-owned with, you know, and they're not like a person with marriage? That'd be weird too, wouldn't it?
Break down all the finances. He will give Lynette 10 days to respond to the default judgment. And Randy even goes so far as to say, hey, we'll give her 30 days if she wants 30 days. But it's almost a done deal. And is she really going to respond? Is she going to get a lawyer? No, she's guilty. She has no money. She has nothing except she's doing her hair. And as you're going to hear from George, her nails were done too. So all of you people giving her money when she's saying she's filing indigent, she can't.
You know, they don't bring this up either. That's another thing the ecosystem never brings up. They never bring up the fact that, wait a minute, you know, they talked about poor, unfortunate. Then they turned on her and they called her a liar, but they never talk about this part right here. Where'd all your money go?
For the animals. She can't even pay for food for herself. Yet she can get her nails done. She can get her hair done.
Yep. Wow.
I think those are fringe things. Those are frivolous things. When you're begging nonstop for money, yes, they are. So the judge goes on to say, we're going to set a formal hearing. We're going to meet in my office afterwards, and we're going to set a formal hearing, right? That means Randy and Lynette must go back to the office with his judicial assistant and schedule this, okay? Lynette immediately storms out the doors. You've seen it in police CAD reports where she just hangs up on them. You've seen it in the hearings where she tells them, get off my property, I'll deal with them. She storms out of the courtroom. She was just court ordered to go back to his office and confer on a date for a hearing for thumbnail case.
She said, that's a lie.
So trespass 5 is a done deal. It's going to be a default judgment. Randy's going to file a motion. Judge is going to approve it. She'll have 10 days to respond to it. Brett and Therese win. Done deal. And then for us, there's going to be an in-person formal hearing. As a matter of fact, what happens is Lynette storms out. The judge then tells the assistant, where is she? The judge has other matters to take care of. The judge and the assistant send Rex, the bailiff, out to go find her. Rex states openly in public, she never does what anybody tells her to do anyway. Sends other bailiffs and sheriffs out there to go and find her, deputies. Nobody can find her. She's gone. She's literally gone. The judicial assistant says, I ain't screwing around with this. I'm scheduling it anyway. It is going to be done. Very much so. It'll just be done. As a matter of fact, here's exactly what happened. So Candace Thomas, the judicial assistant, wanted to confirm with Lynette the date. There was no conflict for her. Lynette wasn't there. Rex went outside to the courtroom, try and get her, come back inside, talk to the judicial assistant. The JA, judicial assistant, said, I'm setting the hearing anyway. So now we have a hearing set for thumbnail for October 22nd, 1:30 to 3:30. 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours in person, no Zoom allowed.
Yep.
So I guess when I know I'm going to be down in Florida again, usually I try to be there at the end of October anyway, the beginning of November. So I guess looks like George and I will be in Florida October 22nd.
Look how this is all played out, though. They went from filing this and laughing about it, raising money about it, bringing in Stark, all this nasty business behind the scenes, to look where we are now. Look where it is. It's crazy, isn't it? What a ride.
In person. And what he wants in that hearing is all expenses broken down, all of my legal fees that she's going to be paying for, all damages that she's incurred as well. And all of this is going to happen before a hearing for bankruptcy. Now, this is the big thing. If bankruptcy does happen and a stay happens or a pause in these cases, it's just a waiting game. She's lost. She's lost. Deuce destroyed her life. Fleesa destroyed her life. These freaks and fools destroyed her life completely and utterly and totally. Let's call George and see what she has to say, because she was there in person.
You know what's really weird about all
George.
You know what's really weird about all this too? She went from having everything aligned in her life, having a home. They had an actual home, to look at where they are now. Like, when you look at that, does that not blow your mind sometimes when you listen to all of this and you think, I mean, they had so much working for them and they threw it all away. And what did they throw it away on? I mean, honestly, why did they throw it away? Like, what value did they get out of doing all of this? You know, they gambled on this stranger giving them money and underwriting their life, which is the weirdest thing too. I would never expect someone to underwrite my life, but they were convinced he would underwrite their lives. When it didn't go right, we just get this insane snowballing effect. And look at where they are now. Look at what this insanity has cost them. And yes, it is their fault. But still, was it worth it? Was it worth it at all?
Virgin, man, she be looking like a snack. All right, baby.
Do I look like a bagel with sesame seeds?
You look a little better than that. You were there in
Like
person.
a bagel.
Give me your insights. What? Whoa. Juggling you around. All right. What happened?
Where do I even begin? So I showed up at about 8:45, 15 minutes prior to the scheduled hearing. It was a status conference that the new presiding judge wanted scheduled today. And so Randy was there, and we just kind of sat in a room for a little bit until closer to 9. We walk in, actually we leave the side room, and as soon as Deanna opens up the door, she literally makes eye contact with Lynette, because Lynette is walking towards the courtroom. And she hurries up and closes the door because it was just pure evil. And so we go inside. Lynette's sitting to the right of the courtroom, in the back of the courtroom, but the very first row. And then
what'd she look like?
All I saw was the back of her head. Like, she had her hair down and it was dark, like freshly colored.
How is somebody who's indigent and can't feed animals or a child?
I mean, you could see that in the video. It even comes. It's not as easy to see, but you can tell. Like, she went in and tried to outfit, and you know, there's not a problem with that in being in a court. That is actually what you should do, respect the court. But it is kind of a weird flex, considering, you know.
Or herself has money for hair and nails. I don't understand this.
I don't get it either, but we haven't gotten to the nails yet. But I'm sitting down and I just kind of look over, and she's holding her phone like this and typing like this, like hitting buttons on her phone like this with her knuckle. And I'm like, that's so weird that she's doing that. And that's when I noticed that she got her nails done. She had a French tip. She got her nails done, whether they were press-ons or whatever. But she took the time to make herself look presentable in court. And I can see you up on the Zoom screen. I see Brett and Therese up on the television screen because you guys joined Zoom. And then I saw attorney Larry Foreman up on the screen. And then later on, her bankruptcy attorney appeared on the Zoom. But she was wearing mostly all black. And then she was wearing like weird flip-flop sandals. Like not even cute. They were just like the kind that you wear around the house. The slide-ons. So we're sitting around. We don't start immediately at 9, and we're just waiting. And Randy goes and takes a seat at the front of the courtroom. We're in the back of the courtroom, meaning behind the door that divides the courtroom. And the judge walks in. Everyone stands, and then we sit down, and everyone identifies themselves, and her attorney at first the judge asked Larry Foreman if he was representing Lynette.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Oh my God. Did you see did you see me laughing when she said my attorney died, my lawyer died, and I had to put my head down because of the my mom died. My mom didn't die comment.
My mom didn't die.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Good.
No, I didn't. And I was trying to take notes on my phone because I have notes in my phone. I was taking digital notes, but he goes on. Larry tells him, "No, Your Honor, I am represented by Randy."
Yep.
But clearly her ex parte letter of lies to the judge debunked everything she said because she showed up to court, right?
She was there.
She was there. Where was the child?
She
Remember,
debunked herself.
She couldn't leave the child alone. Yep. She said she couldn't leave the child alone. She's the only
That's
one that
actually
can
a
care
good
for
point.
her. She can't leave.
It's a very good point by George. She could not do this. She's done this before too. She said, like, I can't, I have to be me. I have to. And yet she would manage that. She also, she says it's either her or, again, she has to have, I'm going to say, medical help. And that's not the case. So,
Leave her child alone with her ex-husband. I mean, clearly they were probably in the Jeep like usual.
Debunked herself.
Debunked herself. She clearly was not afraid to attend, like she said in her lies to the
100%.
judge. And it wasn't a safety risk. You're in Ohio. So why did she think that it was a safety risk when you're in a completely different state?
Maybe she's scared it was going to get too hot in there because you be smoking hot.
Anyways, so the child was left alone and out of Lynette's sight for approximately 20 to 25 minutes because that's how long we were in there. From the time Dee saw her, made eye contact with her, till the time that we left the court. And by the way, she stormed out of the courtroom because I don't think today was a good day for her.
Not at all. The judge even told
happy.
her she's going to be writing checks and she's in over her head.
You can see her bounce quickly. She is not happy. I mean, you can just tell, she is out of there like, oh my God. Because she's on the hook. I think it was made very clear that she's looking at having some financial problems. Maybe that does explain the sudden need for the RV. I don't know.
Ed, and she better lawyer up.
Yeah. So the judge did say that the bankruptcy is not prohibiting the case at this time. Therefore, there is no stay. And her bankruptcy attorney, he confirmed. He says, yes, absolutely, there is no stay. But explained that, yes, the case was dismissed. The bankruptcy case was dismissed due to his mess up of not filing by the deadline. However, there's some upcoming here in October, but still there is no stay. The hearing in October will say, okay, yes, go forward, or no, we're not going forward. There is no automatic stay.
And Brett and Therese are going to get a judgment, a default judgment before that hearing, even in the bankruptcy, of whether it's accepted or rejected again. So Brett and Teresa are already going to get a hearing and a judgment before that. Looks like Brett and Teresa are going to get turned purgatory. We're getting new neighbors, baby.
So the judge did say that that the Granger suit, he did say that yes, it was in default, and that default motion is needed, and that he would have approved it had it been filed already. But he told him to go ahead and submit that motion for default.
Yeah, it would have been approved today. It would have been approved today if it was filed already. It would have been done deal. Trespass 5 would have been done today.
Yep. I mean, he made that pretty clear that's got to be horrifying for Lynette Preston, by the way, to know that it's a done deal. Again, we're not talking about a potential $50,000. We are talking about, unless she pulls a miracle out of the hat. And I'm not talking about a bankruptcy delay. I'm talking about she would have to pull an absolute freaking miracle out of this. She's done, man. I mean, she is so screwed. And it is entertaining. You do have to admit, this has been something to behold.
Yes, because of bad faith of all of these lawsuits filed. He even used those words, bad faith.
Yep. It is.
So,
it's bad
her
faith
attorney,
lawsuit.
her bankruptcy attorney,
he's right,
did say that, you know, they don't know if they'll accept it, therefore there's no stay, and that today's hearing will go forward. But he did want.
Yeah, see, it's a gamble. They don't know if they will get the bankruptcy through. So, I mean, that's all. They're gambling on the what if. That's a big gamble, right?
A continuance for another day, because the judge also wanted another motion from Randy to itemize the sanctions and the amount,
and that will be for our hearing in October 22nd. So all the itemized damages, all the itemized fees and damages will be for our hearing October 2nd.
Correct. So then that's when Lynette interjected, and she goes, "Your Honor," and tells the judge, tries to play the "woe is me" sad story that her lawyer died, and that she's this is a really bad deal for her.
Yep.
And the judge told her that she needs to get a lawyer and that he needs to follow the law, and that he cannot give her legal advice, and then she tried saying, well, I don't even know, I'm not a lawyer, I don't know how to get a hold of any of the documents because my lawyer died. Yet isn't it funny that she can't get a hold of any of the documents because her attorney died, but her PR team
has everything.
And Deuce, they go over those documents online.
Yeah, the ones they thought were winning documents.
He can't give her legal advice.
Well, they talk about, with Shara, they said that with Shara was useless too, remember? Because Shara, she wasn't needed to pick up any of those documents. So how does that work out? If Shara was useless, they've got everything, then why don't they show them? I'm curious about that. Why don't they give them to her?
That she needed to seek an attorney, and then she tried to pull the same sob story again on this new judge. And he politely and sternly told her, "Ma'am, you're in over your head."
He basically told her, "You're screwed." But he did it sternly and politely and said, "You are screwed. You are going to be writing checks to these people."
Yep, he said, "The only thing I can tell you is to get an attorney because this is not going to work well for you." And that shut her up real quick. And people were just giving her the stink eye. I kind of looked around the courtroom when he said that, and people were just giving her the stink eye. So the judge did confirm that the Grangers are legally entitled to a default. And he requested that Randy file that motion. And then the judge also wanted Randy to speak with his judicial assistant to reschedule an actual live hearing within 30 days, and that he needed a couple hour window.
Yeah,
Lynette ran,
I gotta get out of here.
Stormed out.
Yeah. He wanted a formal hearing. He wants people there in person. So anyways, back to her bankruptcy attorney, since he confirmed that he does not represent Lynette in any other case but the bankruptcy, not the 3 other cases that Deuce and Fleesa lied to the viewers and their donators for that $6,000 retainer.
So
that's
horrible.
on record.
Yeah, completely. It's horrible what they've done. That's a felony. Those are felony charges. I can't wait till these guys get charged with all these criminal acts they've done. And it is going to come out in the lawsuits. It is absolutely going to come out, just like the Laura Owens lawsuit. It is absolutely going to come out.
So you called me as soon as we left the courtroom, which was approximately about 9:17, because that's what my call log says. And Lynette stormed out, but yet she claims that she's disabled and has a bad spine with all these degenerative bone discs issues.
Oh my God. Apparently, we made some people very mad. So apparently, they've decided to take the Polymop website and post on there about, oh my God, we were defamed. They are so fucking mad, and it is hilarious. It is absolutely freaking hilarious. Man, we got them worked up so much. You know what, Lisa? $56,000 you ghosted. Much more than that, in fact. You put up a bankruptcy. They want to deflect. They want to deflect about that freaking money, man. They are so desperate to deflect that money. I think next week I'm going to start myself. Like I said, I've never felt really motivated to call the police about it because, you absolutely stole this money. You have live streams with a person that has been in trouble for the same type of shit that we are seeing on display yet again. And if these people aren't going to take care of it, it needs to be investigated. It needs to be investigated about real law enforcement, or maybe more. Actually, it is an internet crime. But okay, that's cool. They want to whine and complain. It'll be really funny. I think I would be very amused. And Lynette has lost her ever-loving mind. Did you know that she actually posted more? So give me 1 second. Let me show you. While we were doing all of this stuff, they they had their fit, and let's see. And look, Lynette also, she posted all this stuff too. I mean, she's saying again, like, I didn't get my money. I didn't get my money. I didn't get my money. She's throwing a freaking shit fit. They have something over Lynette Preston, but my God, they robbed that old lady. Scamming the scammer is funny and all, but that's still a crime. It's still an absolute crime. That lady, that is her money. And you have fucking robbed her. And there is nothing on earth that is going to deflect away from that. So you keep trying. All of you idiots, just keep trying to deflect it. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, no matter what you say, you screwed up. You'll either make that old lady whole, or I have a feeling like the amount of money that has been ghosted there. You have no proof. Again, you talked about $5,000 for a fucking fence. That was covered off of gift cards. You said it yourself. You want us to really put together, you want to play website for website? All right. You want me to fund a website for this? You want me to really go in and they like to play the defamation website game. You want to put together a real website? We put together a definitive website talking about clips from you morons and showcasing for the world. It will never be forgotten what you've done. Will tie it into you, and you will never be able to move away from it because you robbed this old lady. Again, you talk about her. And the reason I say old is because they say that. They say older, indigent, elderly. Remember, they brought up all that stuff. But then they robbed her blind. They've kept that money, and they have said it. You have the donor. You think about how bad this is. The donor that gave $56,000 provable dollars said, give them the money. And they're like, it's ours. We don't have to. It's for this one thing. No, fuck you. It's not yours. That is a crime. If the donors out there, they don't call the police on that. My God, man. I mean, these people have robbed someone in the open. Provably. You watched it happen. You're watching them withhold money from Lynette Preston, someone they know is living in a shed with a child. They're withholding. Their note is $18,000, but God knows how much money they brought in. Again, they didn't spend $30,000, $40,000 on a pile of lumber and a couple of toilets. They have robbed these people. And the people who gave money especially should demand a public accounting. And the people, like, especially, they've got a major donor that is being begged for more money. Now, fuck that. Again, contact the authorities, because the level of that is a really bad crime. They think that they have found an open door where they can steal, and the thing that they haven't managed there. They haven't managed to do it and get away with it without anybody noticing. We all noticed what happened. We all saw it. We all talked about it live too. We talked about this money. We talked about how much money would be there. And yet, let's continue. So funny, man. They're doing everything they can to deflect, because you're seeing Lynette Preston. The more desperate that she gets, the more noise she's going to make, and they're going to be just desperate to play the victim with anything they can. And the reality is that they are not fucking victims. They have never been victims. They have sat over there. They've defamed the shit out of people. They are being sued massively for it. And they're morons. They're representing themselves with a bunch of shady ass fucking people. I mean, we are talking about criminal element. People are being asked to give money while you have felons, people who have been to prison, sitting over there. And they've been there for fraud, by the way, for fucking fraud. They've been back patting like one of the worst fraud cases that we've talked about in a while. Strong-armed extortionist that is over there. But give them money. It's so crazy. They want all of that to be away. You know what? Maybe I'll start going on bigger channels to talk about it. I'm feeling better. Maybe I'll start going to flashcasts and more, just to talk about the joy that this is, because I have never seen somebody think that they can rip off tens of thousands of dollars in broad daylight and have the audacity to be like, that's mine to do with what I want. Lady, you and your kid live in a fucking shed. Go outside and poop and wash yourselves there. We don't have to do anything with it. Again, I don't like Lynette Preston. I think she's a terrible human being. But these people, wow.
Who's faster than you and me? You and I cannot even move that fast. Our bodies hurt. Our backs hurt. We cannot move the way she moves.
No. I mean, the way she describes her disc issues, she should be a blob in a wheelchair. But she clearly has an erect spine and can walk and speed walk just fine and storm out of the courthouse. So the bailiff comes out in the hallway too with us, and he's like, "Where's Mrs. Presto?" He called her Presto.
Presto, she disappeared.
She disappeared.
Yep, exactly.
She disappeared just like that. And so he said he told her to wait. He told her to wait because a new court date was needed. And he goes, but she never listens.
Shocking.
Yeah, so then he asked the other deputies on staff that were by the metal detector to try and flag her down. He's like, did a dark-haired woman just leave? They're like, yeah, she just left. He's like, can you try and stop her? And she was already long gone. And so we met with we met with the judicial assistant, and we have a new hearing.
Give me a second. I gotta check something. Oh my God. One second. I want to see if this is happening. Oh my God. Hey, do me a favor, people, please. Keep an eye on Lynette Preston's channel. She's live, but it's just spinning there. She's not connecting to anything, but she's trying to go live. Oh my God. This could go. Oh my God, today could be glorious. Oh my God, please let that happen. Make sure anybody, if it goes live, make sure to record it. Oh Lord, just keep an eye on it. If it actually straightens up, let me know, because right now it's just a spinning wheel. She's not managed to do that. There are 8 people or 9 people sitting there.
Scheduled, and it is for a 2-hour window. I'm not going to say the times, but it is scheduled for October 22nd.
I already said the times. So, all right. Anything else you want to add?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, on
she's
YouTube.
Got to look for an attorney.
On her YouTube channel, she's trying to go live.
And
yes, Lynette Preston is trying to go live on YouTube right now. That's hilarious, isn't it? Oh my God. Yeah, I looked on the Polymop site too. That's funny. Thank you, Yeety, for letting me know about that. And hey, look at this. Cynic in Chief noted. He bought polyflop.com. It's yours if you'd like to host merch on it, making fun of the clown. Yes, I think I want to do a polyflop shirt. I think that would be really funny. I think it would be funny to host it and direct it through there. We should have fun on the Polyflop site. Polyflop. Oh my God. They want to try to bring the clowns. We'll bring the whole fucking circus, baby. That'll be amazing. Oh my God, I love it. Debbie, thanks for the 10 there for the girls. You're definitely a wonderful dad. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate it. I pride myself on my relationship with my kids. They are great kids. They are the best. I love them so much, and I'm glad. I'm glad it shows. I do. And thank you. And Debbie dropped 5 gifted memberships too. Thank you for that, Debbie. Again, I love those because it shows everybody in the chat. Like, everybody's connected with it, and it's amazing. Thank you there. Colleen dropped 4 months, so there's saga gets worse and worse indeed. It's so crazy, isn't it? Oh, it's such a mess. And Colleen, also thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you very much. They do anything they can to try to deflect and to bring up stupid. We're almost done with the video here. God, I hope Lynette Preston goes live. I really do. Oh God.
Failure to appear may result in dismissal, default, and or other sanctions.
It's default.
Yep.
That will
all
be
right.
amazing.
So
please let her go live.
That's what happened at the status conference that was scheduled for today.
And looks like we're gonna be back in Florida. This ain't anywhere near over. Stay tuned.
Come on, Lynette, fix your freaking internet, lady. Do you need some help? Do you need us to tell you how to go live, lady? I mean, for real, you probably live out in Podunk, so you're probably not connecting correctly, but there's nothing on the picture. She has a live signal going out, but it's just a spinning wheel, which, like I said, is pretty funny. It is pretty freaking funny. Deering stuff too. Apparently, on top of all of this, check this out. So apparently here, look, Melissa caught this, and this went up too, and this isn't there anymore. But look, holy crap, we have yet another knife to the proverbial throat. Look at this. That's amazing, man. God. I feel like it's going to go down because, again, Lynette Preston, they're never going to give you your money. They called you a liar. They called you a fraud. They said that in fact, they worry about the kid. They've said a lot of stuff about you, lady, and you let it slide for whatever reason. And you know what? They keep doubling and tripling down. They call you the worst person in the world. These are supposedly your advocates because, again, they aren't pro Preston. They're anti-Hales. Anything that hurt Hales, they were for it. But they got what they wanted out of you. They threw you in the dirt, and they think you're a clown, and you're going to deal with it. It's amazing, man. It is absolutely amazing. So fun. We really got some people butthurt, no. They took their polymop site and they're like, look what Chuck Matthew Lewis did. Oh my God. Well, first of all, we never said anyone we were talking about, did we? We said that we had heard that there is an person in the ecosystem that had some terrible stuff attached to them. Now, we would have to verify that, but oh my God, what fun. Now, if you're saying that's about you, I guess that's on you, isn't it? Because I don't think we ever attached a name to that. We just said, there's some discussion about that. It's amazing to me that these idiots, they're so stupid. You can be like, oh, there's a person out there in the ecosystem. And they're like, oh my God, that's me. I'm the piece of shit they're talking about. Really? That's weird. That is weird. No, I mean, we already know about a lot of your backgrounds, but I love how they melt down and stuff. It's so amazing. Oh God. I wonder if Lynette even knows she's live right now. Oh my God, they are so funny though. Oh my God, it's so funny. Holy crap, that's funny. They put up a picture of a fake person. Oh my God, that's so funny. They're like, work for Hales. Oh my God. As I said before, I really wouldn't mind working for Hale. He actually pays his employee. You don't have to steal $100,000 from him. Oh wait, did I say something about someone stealing $100,000? I think we're not supposed to talk about that, right? Oh, they're so butthurt. I love it. Oh my God, I love it. I'm really. You think that's bad? I think we'll really get into the dirt then if they really want it. It's so funny, man. I love it when they melt down because they make so many mistakes. Let's cover some super chats. Wheat Toast, thanks for the 5, kicking that off. Thank you for those memberships, man, the 5 memberships. And thank you again, Wheat Toast. I always love seeing you because it makes me laugh. The toe, anything with sexy toes, this just all cracks me up. So thank you. Max Lab, thank you for your super chat there. Also, thank you for support, brother. I appreciate you. Appreciate all the updates you do and everything. It's a good times. Audrey, thanks for the 16 months there. Happy to support you and yours. Thank you there. Keep haters in agony. It's an awesome perk, indeed. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Fun times. No, they are so desperate to. Oh my God. What is that? What the hell is on Lynette's screen? What is that, Lynette? What in the world? Give me a second. Her image went live for a minute. Oh my God. Lynette, fix your screen. She did have an image come up for a minute there, though. Max Lab, thank you. Yeah, she did comment on stuff. It's funny. It's funny seeing her comments. They're crazy, man. Oh my God. Clear as mud. Thank you for the 33 months there. Clear as mud. How are you doing, by the way? I hope you are doing great. Love to. Hello, return. Thank you. Appreciate you. Fallen Hero, drop that super chat as well. Thank you, Fallen Hero. Always. Thank you for being here, my friend. You always appreciate the heck out of you, for sure. Jay, what's up, Jamie? I like it, Jamie. Thanks for the 4 months. Good evening, Tuck. Good evening. Hey there. I hope you are doing fabulous. Appreciate you too. Thank you for the 4 months. Nana, what's up, Nana? Thanks for 3 months there. Love my time with Tuck. Me too. I love this time with you folks. I have so much fun with it. So thank you for being here. It's much appreciated. Cindy dropped a 5 there. Appreciate you, Cindy. It's good to see you. And there's not a statement, but it is a statement back in the channel. And thank you very much for your backing. Adair dropped 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Adair. That is awesome. All of you dropping memberships again. That is amazing and much appreciated. Let me see if I've missed any. You know, I hit most of them through, like I hit the SpongeBob there. I thought that was funny. Andre there. Andre, thanks for the 2. What does Levy County agencies want to do their job? That's a good question. Why don't they? Why don't they do their jobs? That's a good question there. 2012, thanks for the 2. There's a child in need, but not getting money. That's right. They have taken all of that money. They're telling you that they are living in a freaking shed, and these people are just gloating over that money. Oh, look at me! I got your money. I mean, they're holding it over them. It's like, oh, can you get it? It's so good, man. I love it. I love it because they're such scumbags. I love being able to call them out on this stuff. Like I said, they are so butthurt. You can kind of tell who's been writing certain things too. Oh my Lord. Just Jay said we should set up a GoFundMe for LMNOP. Seems like a nice thing to do. Yeah. You know, we can set it up and make ourselves the beneficiaries like the rest of them do. It's so weird. Lynette's like, she snorted and then it ended. What the world, Lynette? Oh my God. Frankie, thanks for those 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Frankie, by the way. I'm pretty sure I hit that, but I want to thank you again. Thank you. You know, I got you, Nadine, but thank you, Nadine. I appreciate you. Also, Patty, thank you again. Cynic, thank you again, too, man. I'm running through making sure I didn't miss anybody. Angela, I don't think I got you there. Do you think she's? Oh yeah, I did hit that for the RV. I don't know what the plan is, but it does seem like desperation and trying to do something, doesn't it? It really seems weird and desperate. Let's see. Let me catch a few people at the back end here. Also, Kelly noted she's live. Yes, I thank y'all for noting that too. Her video, she never managed to do anything with it really. She just then she said it. She said it to. Oh my God, I'm gonna have so much fun laughing. Oh my God, I love life some days. These are the things. If you're ever like, man, I feel sad and depressed in life. These are the things that make life funny. So always remember that. There's always people to laugh at. Rhea Rye, thanks for the 2. Tug DM on X. I'll check it in. Let me see. DM. And let's see. Stacy NAT, are you out there, Nat? Oh, did you show up? She can come over if she wants to. As long as she's not disruptive, she's allowed, you know. And disruptive, you can disagree. It's funny though, Stacy. We were told we were targeting you, and it's funny. I think your show is awful. Like I think you need to get a better microphone. You know, that would be that'd be a number one thing, because your microphone sounds terrible, lady. You know. You need to get, you could get you get a really good microphone with an arm, by the way. They used to be $99, but I don't know if they've gone up. Let's see. I'll even tell you what kind to get. They'll help you out tremendously. So there's let me see how much they are now. So without the arm currently, you could get a Blue Yeti, which is a USB condenser microphone. Now, you don't want to go with a fancy condenser microphone unless you know what you're doing. Because you know, if you go with something fancy, it's going to cause a mess for you. What you need is something simple, plug and play. You can use a Blue Yeti. Blue Yeti has 3 sound settings. They're easy to use. The front is you turn it up and down, and then the back you can turn off picking up noise in the background and everything. Now let's see, with a microphone arm, with arm, you could get one for, let me see, I'm looking for it new. God, I see them everywhere with eBay and other places for under $120. Actually, there's a place called Every Market I've never heard of, but they have them for about $70, which is good if they're legit. I don't know, but you can get one from there. Again, without one, you get it with a desk stand for $100. But if you get them with a floating mic stand, it will keep a lot of the sound in the background from sounding so awful. $99 investment. The worst thing you can do in your chats. And don't put 9 people on your shows. Jesus, wept, lady. 9 people. You'll end up, right now, you may end up with 30 people. But that's what you're going to be with forever. You need some structure. 12 hours, yeah, you get 1,000 views sooner or later, but you will never maintain anybody. Put together something. Pick out a crew, go to town. Talk about that $100,000 that's gone missing. I can't believe you guys backed that. That's fucking crazy. Craziness, man. Anyway, Bunsen, new microphone. Do a favor for yourself and other people. Thank you for the 2 there. Stream snipe. There wasn't a snipe, unfortunately. There was an image. There did give up something, so we did get a little bit of something, but not much. Janice, thanks for the 2 there. Tug, she's live. I know, that's so funny. Thank you all for telling me to. Appreciate it. That's how I found out. Thank you all. Cindy dropped 5 there again. There's not a statement, but back in the channel is a big statement, and it's much appreciated. Thank you for that. I very much appreciate it. I mean, honestly, channels running, it makes some people really mad too. D spills the tea too. Yeah, I've been catching a D spills the tea, and I've enjoyed the videos. D spills tea. I see you there. I've been catching your stuff. I like it. I like it quite a bit. You do a very good job of picking out something and concisely making a point. I like it. So props to D Spills the Tea. Everybody on there, give them some love. And Christine, thanks for the 2. Set to private on my screen. Yes, LMNOP set the thing to private because it was a mess. All she did is have a rotating nothing, and then it never went anywhere, which was amazing to see. So what I want to do is I want to direct you tonight to another. Oh my God, that's funny. Okay, I'm going to redirect you to Flashcast. Now, I want to note that if you get offended by stuff, you don't go over there. They will talk about politics. They will talk about all kinds of social issues, but they will also yell and have fun. And Yellow Flash is a good dude. One of the things I've learned online that you will run into a lot of people, but very few people will have your back, especially in a time of need. When people come crashing in and try to cancel you and more, that's when you really judge people. And Yellow Flash is a good person. So I'm going to redirect you over there. Raid, tell them Tug sent you, and I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm out of here.